Chapter 1484, Low Level. Chapter 1484, Low Level immediately. Long Fei was unhappy. Yi Jingyun immediately shouted out, "Asterisk, who are you calling a trash?" Yi Seng's face tightened for a moment as he pulled Yi Jingyun back and immediately apologized. "Master, the new entrance is open. I do not know the rules. Please forgive me." Golden Armor Elder snorted, pointed at Yi Jingyun's nose, and said, "I said you're trash. What about it? You have to admit that you're a piece of trash. Do you understand? Little bastard." When he said this, Golden Armor Elder kept looking at Long Fei. The muscles in the corner of Long Fei's eyes twitched, and at this moment, he roared out, "God's War Beasts!" Rumble! The God's War Beasts was summoned. Without waiting for Long Fei's orders, the God's Hammer in the God's War Beast's hands suddenly moved. "Who the hell do you think you are, daring to speak to my boss like that?" Rumble! A hammer blow descended. The Golden Armor Elder didn't have time to react and was sent flying thousands of kilometers away. Arrogant? I have never seen anyone that was so arrogant. The God's War Beast carried the God's Hammer on its shoulder and humphed coldly. "Old fart, you're courting death." Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "Keep a low profile. Keep a low profile." "You call this keeping a low profile?" Yi Seng shouted and said, "What did I tell you to restrain yourself? Endure it a little now." To send an elder flying without a word. "Do you still want to go to Impact Sky Tower?" Remind Long Fei that he still had half an hour before he would be able to blow a Golden Armor Elder away the moment he enters the fairyland of Tower Question of God. The God's War Beast pointed her finger fiercely at Yi Seng and said, "Be careful when you speak to my boss." It was very domineering. Long Fei yelled and said, "This is my friend. Can I call you to be a little more low-key?" The God's War Beast scratched its head and carried the hammer back to its shoulder. Long Fei said, "Clan Elder, you heard what he said. It's not that I want to attack. It's that he likes to be lowly, to immediately attack that useless trash. This kind of person is asking to be taken care of." Yi Jingyun said, "Young Master Long, it feels great. So what if you're Golden Armor Bodyguard? Old fart. If you don't do it, then I'm going to do it." Yi Jingyun also had a face full of unhappiness. He was sent flying with a single word. Yi Seng felt his scalp go numb. "I don't care about you guys. Hurry up and report to Temple Question of God. After everything is done, we can enter the Tower Question of God as soon as possible. As long as you can break through the 20th step, no one will dare to underestimate you." Yi Seng did not stop. Once that Golden Armor Bodyguard returns, he will definitely not let this matter rest. In the fairyland of Tower Question of God, not everyone could offend the Golden Armor Army. They were the reserve army of the ancient holy battlefield. Long Fei recalled the God's War Beast back into the war pet space. The God's War Beast's face was filled with unwillingness as it said, "Boss, since you've already come out, you let me play a little more. You're suffocating me to death while staying in the war pet space." Long Fei said, "I called out. I didn't tell you to blow him away so that you could keep a low profile. You better behave." The idea moved, and the God's War Beasts entered the war pet space. Beast Control Hall. Something terrible has happened. Things are not going well. What's all this fuss about? Great Clan Elder, that brat. He really came, and he even tamed the God's War Beast, sending a Golden Armor Bodyguard flying the moment he appeared. The thing that we promised that fellow. He could freely enter the Rift's Soul Pass, to be able to freely communicate with Beast King Question of God. When the Great Clan Elder, the Beast Control Hall, heard about this, he was completely stunned. How is this possible? What did you just say? Did he tame the God's War Beasts? That is the ancient holy battlefield's war beast. How can he tame it? No way. Absolutely not. We have to get the God's War Beast back. Compared to its potential, the God's War Beast is much stronger. We can't just give it to him like this. Grand Elder, what do we do now? Go to Temple Question of God, Law Enforcement Hall. Little bastard, you've finally come. This old man has been waiting for you for a long time. Great Elder, the death of the 4 great guards is a great insult to our Law Enforcement Hall. Although I don't know why the Tower Lord wouldn't let us touch that brat, but We absolutely cannot let him live an easy life. To the temple question of God. The elder who had been humiliated by Long Fei and called himself a fool the day before also had a face full of anger as he said in a heavy tone, "You dog, now that you have entered the tower question of God, you have come to my territory. Just you wait. See how I'll repay you. Go to temple question of God." In another place, Zhan Wushuang's residence. The two Saints said slightly, "Young master, in your opinion, we cannot allow him to enter the tower question of God." The two Saints were from the Nine Secret Warrior family. However, their identities were unknown. Zhan Wushuang smiled blandly. "No, he cannot have any chance at all to enter Impact's Sky Tower. Also, I want him to not be able to survive in the tower question of God." The two Saints nodded and said, "Understood." Zhan Wushuang said, "You all do not need to intervene excessively. Do not expose yourselves. The things I said in front of the Tower Master yesterday was enough to stop Long Fei." "Understood." The two Saints silently withdrew. Then, Zhan Wushuang's mouth revealed a sneer of disdain and said, "Long Fei, how can you fight with me? This tower question of God is full of my people. Now, even the tower question of God's Tower Master is on my side. Let's see what kind of tricks you can come up with." "Ha. As long as Lear breaks through the tower question of God and enters the ancient holy battlefield, I will become a god." Ha. Zhan Wushuang was wild with excitement. Rumble. A loud sound came from inside the god's tower. The 65th floor of the god's tower had been destroyed. Xin Yuan Li Air slightly bowed and said, "Thank you, Saint, for your teachings." Saint waved his hand and said, "Go." Xin Yuan Li Air didn't hesitate to step into the 67th floor of the god's tower. There's still the 33rd floor, Big Brother Long Fei. "Wait for me." Temple question of God. Hearing the loud noise from the tower question of God, a few Saints became excited. The 67th floor. Xin Yuan Li Air has prepared himself well. His speed is getting faster and faster. Seems like we will have two disciples that can enter the ancient holy battlefield. Aha. It was also at this time, Yi Sung brought Long Fei and the other two into the shrine. The Yi Sung bowed and said, "Greetings, Holy Saint. The 3 examination disciples have arrived." Voices in the hall were discussing animatedly. They were all talking about other things and did not take Long Fei and the others seriously. Yi Sung spoke a few sentences consecutively, but no one paid any attention to him. Half an hour passed. They merely left Long Fei and the other 2 people there, not caring about anything at all. Yi Jingyan grinned and said, "Damn, what do you mean?" Long Fei looked at Yi Sung and then sneered, "Is the tower question of God really like this?" Chapter 1485. The Suppression of the 4 Great Saints. Chapter 1485. The Suppression of the 4 Great Saints. If you make me unhappy, I'll make you unhappy. Who cares what kind of tower question of God they were, or what kind of dog's hit holy lord they were all the same. Long Fei had this kind of personality. With that, the entire audience turned quiet as they looked at Long Fei. 8 black lines hung on Yi Sung's forehead as he thought bitterly in his heart. We're finished. Why is it that this kid doesn't listen? To dare to openly insult the tower question of God and the temple question of God. Isn't this courting death? This kind of words would probably only come out of Long Fei's mouth. Suddenly, a deep voice sounded out, "Insolence." One of the saints raised his eyes. A gleam flashed across his eyes. The light turned into pressure, and with a boom, it smashed into Long Fei's sea of consciousness. Buzz! Long Fei's sea of consciousness shook. He was unable to endure it. His body couldn't help but tremble as he felt extremely uncomfortable. The cultivation level of the saint was too strong, so strong that he was unable to contend against it right now. Long Fei's personality was one of absolutely not yielding. Even though he had been crushed, he still spoke forcefully. Could it be that I spoke wrongly? What's the point of calling us over and leaving us here? Against me. Since that's the case, why shouldn't I scold him? Endured it for a minute. He endured it even after 10 minutes, not saying a word for half an hour. He was constantly discussing matters that had nothing to do with him. What was this? This was called ignoring his existence. Humph! A cold sweat broke out, and the other saint's pressure faintly moved. Boom! Another wave of pressure pressed down on Long Fei's sea of consciousness. Do you think you have the right to speak in this divine hall? Buzz! Long Fei's sea of consciousness stirred. His entire body was unable to endure it. His body trembled violently. However, Long Fei remained calm after changing and said solemnly, "Then why did you call me over? Why bother? Do you want to see me make a fool of myself? Then come." The imposing pressure of the two saintess were like two gigantic mountains as they pressed down on Long Fei's mind, causing him to feel as if his entire head was about to fall down. TL. The pressure caused him to be unable to breathe. Moreover, his waist was bending and his knees were bending. Long Fei seemed to be unable to endure it. His cultivation was stronger than Long Fei, but Long Fei had no way to surpass him, and this kind of pressure was equivalent to being crushed by someone with a higher cultivation level. His head could not even listen to him. The feeling of being about to explode almost made Long Fei go berserk. At this moment, the third saint suddenly moved and shouted solemnly, "Kneel before me as a new disciple who has come to the divine hall." His voice sank. Rumble. The imposing aura was like a ferocious beast that had suddenly rushed out and directly smashed into Long Fei's sea of consciousness, like a thunderous strike. The coercion of three saintess. How powerful was this? How could a new disciple possibly block it? Even though Long Fei's cultivation had reached the semi-realistic realm, he was still unable to block it. The cultivation level of the saint was far above him. When the three saintess attacked at the same time, he found it even more unbearable. Long Fei's mind was trembling, and his entire body was scarlet red, as if it was a red-hot iron that was painfully supporting himself. He couldn't bear it, but Long Fei gritted his teeth as he endured it with all his might. At the same time, he stared at the three saintess and remembered their appearances. Long Fei took a deep breath and said, "I, Long Fei, do not bow to the heavens, nor do I kneel to the earth." He just wouldn't kneel. This was the will of the people of Long family. Humph. Is that so? Another saint laughed in disdain and said, "I shall see how expensive your knees are. Kneel down." Rumble. Another loud sound rang out, and another wave of intimidating pressure came crushing down. The fourth wave of pressure. Long Fei's scarlet red face was drenched in sweat, and his entire body was drenched in sweat. His flesh was also trembling nonstop, and he was on the verge of collapsing. Isung panicked a little and immediately kneeled down and said, "Holy Saint, Long Fei doesn't know the rules. I apologize to the lords on his behalf. Please forgive him." Boom! What are you? You even have the qualifications to kneel on behalf of others. One of the saintess sneered. With a sweep of his right hand, a strong wind directly blew the Yi-Sung away. The cultivation of the Yi-Sung could not withstand it at all. It was too late to do anything. He was directly sent flying and slammed into the door. A golden light burst out from the door, and his body landed heavily on the ground, spitting out a mouthful of blood. His face turned extremely pale. Yi Jingyun threw caution to the wind and said heavily, "You've gone too far." Boom! He directly went forward to support Long Fei and shouted, "You dregs, what tower question of goddess do you have face? Why don't you take a piss out of yourselves?" The pressure from the four of them could crush a new disciple. Your skin is really thicker than a tower question of gods. Nangongyan also stepped forward to support Long Fei and said, "This is a tower question of God? Laughable, extremely ridiculous, huh? For people crushing a new budding disciple? It was indeed disgraceful to spread such news." The faces of the four saints also darkened. One of the saints' eyes turned sinister. He coldly snorted, "Since you all stood up for him, then let's bear it together." Boom! Boom! Several explosions sounded in succession. Long Fei's arms trembled as he yelled, "Get out of the way. So what if the pressure of the four great saints? I can take it." Boom! When the power in his body exploded, both of his feet heavily shook, causing the floor to crack. He then stuck both of his legs into the ground, raised his eyes, and said, "Come on. You want me to kneel? You are not worthy." With both knees digging into the ground, even if his waist was broken, Long Fei would not kneel. He wouldn't kneel even if he died. The faces of the four saints were also extremely ugly. They did not expect that Long Fei was so strong that the four great coercion fighters simply could not withstand it. Yet, he was able to persist for such a long period of time. Moreover, he did not kneel. He had to say it. This mental state caused many saints to be slightly shocked. Even when facing any kind of pressure, a powerful force would not yield. Wasn't this kind of spirit what they were looking for? However, Long Fei was too arrogant. This kind of personality was really bad. The four saints were enraged. "Not kneel. Let's see how long you can last." A saint shouted, "Buzz." The four of them looked at each other and exerted their strength at the same time. The pressure on the four great saints suddenly retracted, and it seemed as if Long Fei's sea of consciousness had instantly become empty, before instantly crashing down like a thunderbolt. This feeling, it was 100 times worse than death. It was also at this time, a voice rang out, "Enough." Chapter 1486, Retesting. Chapter 1486, Retesting. Boom. As his voice fell, a surge of power blocked the might and pressure of the four great saints. Then, an old man stood beside Long Fei. Everyone in the hall suddenly stood up, not daring to have the slightest bit of disrespect. The old man looked at Long Fei and asked, "Are you all right?" Long Fei's vital energy and blood tumbled below his chest. He wanted to spit out a mouthful of fresh blood, but he forcibly swallowed it back and forcibly said, "I'm fine." The pressure of the four great saints is also only this much. The expressions of the four great saints turned sinister and became extremely ugly. "Kick, how dare you be so arrogant?" One of the saints, Chi, faintly moved and immediately erupted. It was also at this time. The clan elder next to Long Fei bellowed, "Aren't you ashamed enough?" The sound directly crushed the aura of power. The faces of the four saints darkened, and they did not dare say another word. The old man laughed lightly and said, "Long Fei, don't be angry. We heard that you broke the examination record to see how strong you are. It really is extraordinary." Long Fei laughed coldly. "You dare?" The elder did not hide anything and said, "You can say that." Long Fei said, "I have let you down. I was not scared, and I also realized the power of the four great saints. And what's his appearance?" The word looks was especially harsh. Obviously, the four of them were already on his death list. Don't give him a chance. If he finds a chance, they will definitely defeat him. Long Fei's tone carried an undisguised threat. The meaning was obvious. Your father will remember you. Just you wait. The four saints were not fools. How could they not understand? However, no one paid any attention to Long Fei. One person's might represented a person's strength. If the pressure could crush Long Fei, then their strength. Any one of them could kill Long Fei. They had cold smiles on their faces. One of the saints said, "Look carefully at our faces, otherwise you will die under someone's hands." The old man slightly shouted, "Enough." The entire palace went silent. That elder walked forward and said, "I originally planned to give you guys the crowning day, but it seems that I've come a bit too late. All right, Yi Jingyun, are you willing to go to Impact Sky Tower?" As soon as he finished, Yi Jingyun's eyes released a gold light and said, "I am willing. My goal here is for the Impact Sky Tower." His dream was about to come true, and he was extremely excited. That elder faintly said, "Very good." And then, he then looked at Nan Gongyan and said, "Nan Gongyan, are you willing to go to Impact Sky Tower?" Nan Gongyan was also very excited in his heart. He nodded and said, "Disciple is willing." "All right, left, right guard, send them to the Tower Question of God." With that said, 2 golden armored guards walked in from outside the Tower Question of God. One of them walked to Yi Jingyun and said, "Follow me." Golden armored guard? Long Fei's heart sank a little. Yi Jingyun didn't think too much about it. Instead, he looked at the clan elder and said, "Elder, we will go together with the young Master Long. The 3 of us will enter the Tower Question of God. If the 3 of them pass the examination together, then it should be the same time that the 3 of them enter the Tower Question of God." Moreover, Long Fei still passed the examination with the result of first place. However, the elder looked at Long Fei and said gently, Nangong Yin said, "Isn't there a reward for being first in the assessment? Is Long Fei going to get any rewards?" Elder smiled. "Yes, there's a reward for him. You guys go first." The elder looked at the 2 golden armored guards. The golden armored guard said again, "Follow me." Yi Jingyun said excitedly, "Young Master Long, we will be leaving first. We will wait for you at the Tower Question of God." He looked excited. However, an ominous premonition rose in Long Fei's heart as he turned around and said to Yi Jingyun via sound transmission, "You guys be careful. Nangong Yin, be careful of the golden armor guards around you." The expressions of the 2 shook and their eyebrows creased slightly. However, they did not show any great reaction. Instead, their faces were still filled with excitement and shock. After the 2 of them left, everyone in the Divine Clearing Hall looked at Long Fei. Everyone had a teasing expression. Long Fei knew that there were not many good things, but he still asked, "Clan Elder, what are the rewards?" Pucci, a saint, suddenly burst out laughing. Immediately, "Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha." The many elders and saints all laughed out loud, as if mocking Long Fei for being an idiot. One the saint asked, "Reward? You're the only one with a reward like this. Do you want a pile of sh*t as a reward?" "Ha ha ha, brat, you're thinking too much. Ha ha, I've never wanted to laugh like this in my life. I actually want a reward. You killed an elder of a Tower Question of God, and even challenged the authority of a Tower Question of God. You dare to be so impudent in this Temple Question of God. Do you think that someone like you has the qualifications to receive the Tower Question of God's rewards? Brat, did you not wake up from your sleep?" They were all laughing at him, one by one. At this moment, Long Fei was just like a clown. This feeling made him extremely unhappy. The elder pressed his hands together, and his voice became heavy. The hall quickly quietened, and he said faintly, "Long Fei, in view of the slaughter that you have caused during the assessment, the Tower Question of God have unanimously decided to re-examine you." "What do you mean? Retest?" Long Fei suppressed the anger in his heart. "Why don't others want it? You want me to retest it? I would like to ask, has Zhang Wushuang been retested?" "Not fair." "Humph, brat, you think you can compete with Zhang Wushuang? Who do you think you are? You don't even qualify to carry his shoes, do you? You don't even have the qualifications to say the 3 words Zhang Wushuang." Zhang Wushuang was a perfect warrior in their hearts. He was someone who could definitely bring glory to the Tower Question of God, a treasure in their hearts, something they could only compare to Long Fei. The elder looked displeased. "You are too murderous. We suspect that you are an evil apostle. Us Tower Question of God will not allow any evil spirits to appear." Just because of this, Long Fei did not believe that at all, and said coldly, "What if I don't agree to the test?" The elder said, "If you don't agree, then that means you are a demon apostle. Then you won't be able to leave Temple Question of God today." Everyone in the hall was staring at Long Fei. Just as he said, if Long Fei rejected, he would never be able to leave this place. Just like walking through a supermarket alone. He was dragged into the security room for a simple reason. He suspected that he had stolen something. "Take off your clothes and check." "Not taking it off. I beat you half to death." Long Fei was unhappy, extremely unhappy. Looking at those disdainful and mocking faces within the Temple Question of God, he coldly said, "You want me to retake the test? Haha, I don't agree. You want to kill me? Sure, then come to me." Chapter 1487, Heaven-Defying Holy Artifact. Chapter 1487, heaven-defying holy artifact. If he really got angry, Long Fei would throw caution to the wind. He had always been someone who would take advantage of a situation. If you want to be tough, I'm stronger than you. He had obviously passed the examination with the first place of results, yet now he was going to retake the examination. What was this? This was an insult. Long Fei was very unhappy. The temple question of God did indeed have the answer he was looking for, and it could even be said that he had no choice but to go to the tower question of God. That time when he had interacted with the Yin Huang ancestor, he had also allowed himself to enter the tower question of God. However, Long Fei was someone who could do anything. Facing such an insult, he would definitely not kneel down and lick his lips. Retest? That won't do. Long Fei's forceful attitude made quite a few elders reveal a sneer of contempt. He was courting death. This is better. If he were to just kill them, there would be no need for him to go through all the trouble. The elders said slightly, Long Fei, you had better consider this carefully. Don't let go of ancient hatred. When the time comes, there will be no medicine for regret. One of the saints said, Master, he has already made his choice. His refusal to examine us means that he is the demon apostle. We must not let him go. Yes, such a person who loves to kill must be full of evil. Even if he is not the demon apostle, the tower question of God cannot nurture such a person. The record says that he was invaded by demons in the punish evil's secret territory. This kind of person is definitely a demon apostle. We cannot let him go. All of them were eyeing Long Fei covetously. When he was at the assessment apartment, he had already tested that Long Fei did not have any evil chi, and now he had come again. They just wanted him dead. Long Fei laughed coldly. What are you talking about? Why are you flying around like that? Come on, kill me if you want. He just couldn't accept it. He definitely wasn't scared. The elder's eyes revealed a trace of joy. I'll ask you again, do you really not agree? Long Fei said, Don't use all of those useless things. If you have any moves, just use them all. I really do not put you lot in my eyes. His mind stirred. The god's hammer in the god's war beast's hand buzzed loudly. Boss, my war hammer is unable to endure the thirst. At this moment, in the heavenly court, the powerhouses of the infernal realm were all accumulating power. They could feel Long Fei's anger at any moment. Tower question of Goddess, one of the strongest powers in Chaos Realm. Let's see who is the strongest. Brat, you're courting death. Boom! With a furious roar, a mighty pressure crushed the other party. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. Damn it, this old man shall see who has King court death. Buzz! The power of the semi-realistic realm burst forth. Opening his right hand, the sword of destroy combusted, and the Yang God authentic artifact's power was also released crazily. At this moment, the atmosphere was tense and filled with a frenzied fire. At the same time, buzz! A token fell from the sky and landed heavily in the main hall. Everyone's face changed. Even that elder's face sank as everyone knelt down. Greetings, Tower Master. Buzz! A white figure floated down, like an ethereal fairy descending to the mortal world. Outside the shrine, a woman stood there, looking at Long Fei and smiling faintly. Long Fei was shocked. Big Sister Fairy, Wang Sure. Last time, when the second clan elder said that she had been suppressed, Long Fei was still thinking of how to save her. The many elders of the hall were slightly startled. Wang Sure was obviously locked up. Why was he out now? Moreover, how could she have a passive god? This was the command token that the Tower Lord had. Wang Sure walked into the hall and said in a low voice, Long Fei, just accept the test. Long Fei said, Big Sister Fairy, this is obviously targeting me. Even if I pass the examination, they will still make things extremely difficult for me. In the end, they still want to cut me off. I only save on the complicated procedures and start directly. No need to go in circles. Just as Long Fei was talking, Wang Sure sent a sound transmission to the inside of Long Fei's mind. This divine awareness token was given to me by your father. He wanted you to undergo the examination so that you must enter the tower question of God. Long Fei's mind trembled. It was Wang Sure who had told him that his father was at the tower question of God. If he wanted to find his father, he would have to enter the tower question of God. And now, he would also have to find his father. However, was the father that Wang Shirshir was talking about the father of this body, or was it Long Zhanting? Long Fei frowned. The anger in his heart was slightly suppressed. He turned around and looked at the elders and said, "All right, I will undergo the test." Wang Shirshir heaved a sigh of relief. The expressions of those elders changed slightly. He was slightly displeased. Originally, he could have suppressed Long Fei. Now, the elder then stood up and said lightly, "All right, let's start the test now. Someone come. Bring the black stone up." Not long after, an oracle took out a piece of black stone, and in that instant, Long Fei's eyes lit up. The black stone shone with a dark golden light. Dense black. What is this? This was a heaven-defying treasure. To others, this was just like a piece of testing black stone. There was nothing special about it, but to Long Fei, it was a testament to being a heaven-defying holy artifact. It had to be known that his Devourer's vein had consecutively soared to level 20 just because he had swallowed the Yuan Yang clan to test for black stone. This is the detection black stone in the fairyland of Tower Question of God. The disciples and warriors that used it to test were all peerless geniuses. The geniuses amongst geniuses, their blood vein-s were basically all holy vein-s. Moreover, this examination black stone has been here since the birth of the Tower Question of God. How many powerhouse have it been used to test? Several tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of years of accumulation had passed. Its energy was already far beyond anyone's imagination. If all of the blood essence was completely swallowed up, what would that be like? Wow! In this instant, Long Fei gulped down a mouthful of saliva, secretly rejoicing in his heart. Fortunately, I agreed to take the test, or else I really would have missed out on this heaven-defying holy artifact. Calm down, calm down. Long Fei, you have to remain calm. He really was unable to control himself, because the thick black gold light almost made Long Fei unable to hold back his laughter. This is a king treasure given to me. To think that there would be such a great thing in this world. Just thinking about it feels like a dream. Last time, the blood veins level rose by 20 levels. This time, how far could he go? At least it's the tempo of flying into the sky, right? Long Fei suppressed the excitement in his heart and pretended to be calm as he walked forward. The elder said lightly, "Drip your blood essence up." Long Fei condensed a drop of blood essence and slowly pressed his palm against it. He said in his heart, Come on, let this daddy's blood vein level go up." The black stone absorbed Long Fei's blood essence. And then, the black stone had no reaction. But, at this moment, Long Fei's mind exploded. The system beep was going crazy. Ding! Chapter 1488, Undying Blood Clan, Power of Blood God. Chapter 1488, Undying Blood Clan, Power of Blood God. The Devourer's vein was activated. The blood essence within the black stone was frantically being absorbed, and Long Fei's palm, which was pressed against the black stone, couldn't help but tremble. Wong, wong, wong. Long Fei's body kept on buzzing. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for raising his blood vein to level 32. Congratulations to player Long Fei for raising his blood vein to level 33. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 34. The system beep crazily exploded. Long Fei's face also flickered with red light. The surrounding saint and elders were all confused by his red light. What's going on? What is he doing? I told him to drip a drop of blood essence. How did his entire body become like this? Something wrong. They looked at Long Fei with their mouths agape. They had never seen this kind of situation before. Was he trying to kill himself? Wang Shirshir also had a face full of worry. There were several times when the sound transmission was blocked by the energy that erupted from Long Fei's body. At this time, the saint walked up and asked, "Long Fei, what the hell are you doing? Move your hand away. Let's see what rank and attribute your blood vein is." Long Fei pressed his palm against the black stone so that he wouldn't be able to see anything, obstructing detection. Long Fei was currently in the midst of spitting out blood vein S and surging power in a state where he was unable to extricate himself. At this time, he had made a very satisfying claim. When the elder saw Long Fei ignoring him, he was slightly angered and took a step forward. Long Fei, I'm talking to you, don't you hear me? He completely ignored them. It was as if his eardrums were about to explode. The system beep frantically rang. How could they hear what he was saying? Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 43. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 44. The level of Devourer's vein continued to soar. The elder became even angrier as his eyes turned sinister. He shouted in a deep voice, "Brat, you are too presumptuous." Yi Zichen slapped him heavily. It was fast and powerful. Long Shishir simply could not react in time, and could only cry out, "Long Fei, watch out." Long Fei simply did not hear it. Furthermore, he did not have time to react. Seeing that Elder's palm had struck down, his idea moved slightly, and a red light flashed out from within the blood vein. Buzz! A palm slammed down. Boom! A loud sound rang out, and the divine clearing hall trembled slightly. Many elders and Saint-S revealed a disdainful sneer and thought to themselves, Long Fei is dead for sure this time. It's definitely over. Ha ha! See if he still dares to be arrogant? With the attack at such a close distance, Long Fei had no time to defend at all. With a palm strike on his chest, it could be said that his chest would at least split open. However, a strange scene happened. Long Fei stood where he was, unscathed, but the elder still flew out of the temple cushion of God like a kite with its string cut. He flew to a large tree 100 meters away from the palace and hung on it. Everyone in the hall was shocked. What kind of power was it? How dare you, in the temple cushion of God, actually make a move on an elder? Brat, you're tired of living. As soon as he finished, another elder hacked out. Bam! A loud sound echoed out. Another elder mysteriously flew out. This time, it was even more miserable. He directly smashed into the ground, like a dead dog, unconscious. Wasn't that too terrifying? Although the cultivation of these elders was not as high as those Saint-S, they were still peak powerhouse-S. Now, unexpectedly, it was directly repelled by the power of Long Fei's body. Moreover, Long Fei didn't try to defend himself at all. It was a power that he subconsciously reacted to. This kind of power was too strange, and, at the same time, too terrifying. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 51. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for raising his blood vein to level 52. The blood vein's voice continued to echo in the air. Long Fei's suck star over China was still crazily devouring the blood essence within the black stone. It had to be said that the blood essence that the black stone had absorbed over the past tens of millions of years was simply too thick and powerful. And it was also, what shocked Long Fei was that there were no lack of spirited blood vein among the blood. This kind of blood vein would simply be heaven-defying to Long Fei's Devourer's vein. Too awesome. Tens of millions of years of accumulation. This piece of black stone was about to turn into a spirit. However, meeting Long Fei, he absorbed all of the blood essence within the black stone, and the dark golden light also slowly faded. Ding! 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 The last system announcement rang out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for raising his blood vein to level 80. F***CK. Long Fei was so excited that he blurted out a few words, instantly rising to level 50. This daddy wants to ask, who else is there? Who else? His blood was boiling, and he was laughing maniacally in his heart. In less than a minute, the blood vein's level increase was already at level 50. What kind of concept was this? It was simply as strong as an explosion. Just when Long Fei was excited. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. The strength of the Devourer's vein burst forth, and it received a special reward. The reward is Power of Blood God. Power of Blood God? What is this? Long Fei immediately opened up the system to check. Strength, Power of Blood God type. Cultivation technique grade. Super God consumption. 1,000,000 Holy Source description. Power of Blood God. The power that devours veins essence. Once activated, it will enter the rampage state, obtaining a raging battle chi. Furthermore, it will possess the immortal Blood God's body for a fixed period of time. Description 2. The power of Blood God is derived from the Blood Ancestor. Oh, not die. Strigoi. Damn it, this is so freaking crazy. Long Fei's heart secretly stirred, and he immediately said, Cultivate. There was a new cultivation technique in the cultivation technique column. This cultivation technique was the blood veins stimulation method, the undying blood race. Ha! Long Fei laughed crazily in his heart. The blood vein had risen to level 50 and had received the Blood Clan Divine Art. This power was simply too great. Moreover, the blood vein was still 20 levels away from the Great Perfection stage. At that time, what kind of power would it unleash? What a powerful lightning bolt. Wang Shishir walked to Long Fei's side and said, Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei. Hearing Wang Shishir's voice, Long Fei quickly recovered, then turned his right hand loose slightly and looked at the surrounding people who looked at him in astonishment. He was stunned for a moment and then said, What's wrong? It was also at this time. A black light flashed. The elder said slightly, The blood vein's innate talent is low. Chapter 1489, Punish Evil Mirror. Chapter 1489, Punish Evil Mirror. The blood vein's innate talent is low. As soon as his voice faded, the crowd burst into laughter. Ha ha, ha ha ha. I knew this kid didn't have the talent of a blood vein. Someone like him is just a piece of trash. You don't even have the talent to become a blood vein. Even if you do, you won't even be able to step a step up. The blood vein's inherent skills were extremely important. It was the standard for the selection of disciples in almost all sections. The same goes for Tower Question of God. Long Fei's blood vein inherent skill was low. The weak red light that everyone saw was because of the scene of Long Fei's last bit of blood essence burning. In about a minute, if the light of his blood essence was released through the black stone, the entire hall would probably be lit up like a searchlight. Long Fei smirked. The blood vein's innate talent is low. He didn't take it to heart. Seeing their ridicule, Long Fei couldn't help but laugh, thinking that these people were really funny. Wang Shishir frowned. He took a step forward and asked, What's going on? Long Fei replied, Nothing. No matter what talent I, blood vein, I have just passed the examination. The elder said, I did not say that you did not pass the examination. The blood vein examination is only one of them. What's next is to check your veins, pubes. Sea of consciousness, mine. These four were also the most basic potential of a martial artist. Long Fei frowned slightly and said, There's no need to examine these four. My veins are congested, and my pubes is broken. As for my mind, my sea of consciousness is only SOSO. Yo, brat, you still know your own limitations? How could he actually know that his tendons and arteries were clogged up and that the pubes were damaged? Then you still have the face to stay here? An elder mocked. Exactly. If you want to be born with no talent, and if you want to be born with no potential, why should we let you enter the Tower Question of God? Why should we nurture a piece of trash? You're right. Tower Question of God is not a charity. It's not used to nurture trash. Countless elders and saints clamored. Long Fei laughed coldly and said, Along the way, I, Long Fei, have been ridiculed by countless of people, saying that I'm a trash whose muscles and veins are clogged up, and that my pubes is damaged. But what about it? These people are usually under my feet. Your so-called talent and potential. I just want to ask, who could break through from the yellow rank to the great circle of the great circle in less than 2 years? Who can? Long Fei stared at the elder who had the most joyous smile and asked, Can you? I only ask one question. Who in the temple question of God can do this? Silence. Because no one could do it. Long Fei's words were like a slap in the face. You laugh at me. Are you qualified? All of their expressions changed slightly. Who could go from the yellow rank to the mortal realm in 2 years? No one in the entire chaos realm could do it, and so could the elders and Saint-S. They had spent decades of time doing so. At this moment, Long Fei had unknowingly crushed all of them. Many people were displeased, but Long Fei was right. Regardless of talent or potential, they were all to help with cultivation breakthroughs. Without gifted vein, the veins would be blocked and the pubes would be damaged, an existence surpassing all else. This was the truly awesome place. Long Fei, we don't care about all these. We only know that your blood vein talent is low, that your veins are clogged up, that your pubes is damaged, and that you do not have the qualifications to enter the tower question of God. The saint said in exasperation. Several of the elders immediately responded. Long Fei grinned and said, I have passed the examination. I am qualified to enter the tower question of God. That is the rule of tower question of God. Humph. Rules depend on who? People like you who don't follow rules definitely don't need these rules. Exactly. We can't waste too much resources on him. There's no need at all. The elders' voices were filled with anger. Wang Shishir slightly said, Do you want to change the rules of the tower question of God? In her hand, she held the tokens. This sentence could be said by her or the tower master of the tower question of God. At this moment, everyone immediately became silent. The elders said, There is still the final test. And then, 2 oracle brought in a huge mirror. The sides of the mirror were engraved with all kinds of simple and unadorned patterns. It was obvious that it was not an ordinary mirror. Wang Shishir was shocked and said, Punish evil mirror? Elder, aren't you being too strict? Any person in the punish evil mirror can detect the evil in their heart. No matter who it is, even you have an evil side, right? Punish evil mirror. It was a light that illuminated the human heart. Moreover, as long as there was an evil idea in your heart, it would be able to detect it. Using this kind of mirror test could be said to be giving Long Fei a death sentence. The elders and Saint-S were also slightly surprised. None of them expected the punish evil mirror to appear here. The elders slightly said, Elder Wang, you better be careful when you speak. You have the divine compass, but I will follow the Tower Lord's instructions. And what you just said already constitutes slander. I can let it go, but if you say those words again, I will not be polite. His voice was filled with a domineering aura. Wang Shishir was crushed to the point that he breathed through. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, I will test. The elder was taken aback. Saint in the Great Hall was also slightly startled. Wang Shishir even took a step forward to pull Long Fei and gently shook his head and said, Long Fei, this mirror will definitely not allow you to pass the examination. The punish evil mirror can shine upon any evil side of your heart, even if it was just a tiny bit of thought. It's all there. Once the photo was taken, he would be deemed as unqualified, and Long Fei would not have the qualifications to enter the tower question of God, and would even be killed by the powerhouse S in the shrine. Long Fei had entered the punish evil secret territory before. The demonic aura had invaded his body, making it impossible for him to pass the test. No doubt about it. Today's test was aimed at Long Fei. It was to prevent Long Fei from entering the tower question of God. This was Zhan Wushuang's intention. More or less, it was owner of tower question of God's idea. The elder said, He has already agreed and cannot be changed. It was also at this time. There was a wave of commotion outside the temple cushion of God. A large group of golden armor guards were protecting the door, and one of them was the elder who was sent flying by the gods' war beasts. Little bastard, don't fall into my hands. Otherwise, you'll be worse off than dead. The elders of the Beast Control Hall also looked at Long Fei with cold smiles. An elder of the Law Enforcement Hall. The elders who had been trampled by Long Fei all stared at Long Fei with ridiculing expressions. Once the punish evil mirror appeared, Long Fei definitely could not pass it. Long Fei walked forward until he was standing in front of the punish evil mirror, then laughed. Mirror, oh mirror, who is the most handsome in the world? The elder disdainfully said in his heart, Boy, you will cry soon. Chapter 1490. Zhan Wushuang again. Chapter 1490. Zhan Wushuang again. Everyone has a dark side. This was also known as the evil side. Under the punish evil mirror, no one could escape. After Long Fei was possessed by the evil demon, no matter what, his body would still contain traces of evil qi. Furthermore, when he fought, he hated evil like he hated evil, and had a heart full of evil ideas towards beauties. If someone like him were to shine in front of punish evil mirror, he would definitely reveal his true form. However, yet he stood in front of the punish evil mirror fearlessly, and even asked playfully, who was the most handsome person in the world? Everyone looked at him with contempt. He was destined to be unable to escape this calamity. Even if Wang Shishir had the spirit-opening badge, it wouldn't be able to protect him. Demonic beasts were not allowed to exist in Tower Question of God. Everyone looked at themselves in the mirror, waiting for the results. The punish evil mirror also flashed a white light that enveloped Long Fei's entire body, just like an advanced instrument. The red light scanning Long Fei's entire body. However, a few seconds passed, but there were no changes to the punish evil mirror. The reflection was still Long Fei's handsome face. Long Fei also grinned. As expected, I am the most handsome person in the world. Ha ha! But he was secretly contemptuous in his heart. A bunch of idiots want to mess with me? You're still very young. Demonic? Evil? The evil energy in Long Fei's body had been completely absorbed by the magic body. He was the combination of all the evil spirits. The evil side of Long Fei's body could be said to be as pure as a lamb, purer even than his mother's angel. Want to find his evil? It was a joke. Everyone looked at Long Fei strangely. That elder lowered his head and muttered to himself, "Impossible! The punish evil mirror cannot be like this. Every person in the world has an evil side to them. It is impossible for him to not have one." Wang Shishir then asked, "Clan Elder, is Long Fei's examination over?" Long Fei also laughed. "Clan Elder, the test has ended, right?" The elder's face was ashen, looking somewhat ugly to behold. He had originally thought that the punish evil mirror would be able to kill Long Fei, but then he did not expect the punish evil mirror to have no reaction. His soul was pure. He wouldn't believe it even if he was beaten to death. Just when the elder was silent, Long Fei suddenly moved his punish evil mirror forward slightly and said, "Mirror, mirror, who is the ugliest person in the world?" The punish evil mirror suddenly turned and shone on the elder's body. The elder's expression changed, and he jumped away. But he was still illuminated by the punish evil mirror. An array of blood flashed out from the mirror. A series of ghostly wails and wolf howls came out from the punish evil mirror. This was the roar of the elder's evil being revealed, as if his scars had been opened up. Long Fei pretended to be extremely shocked and said, "Clan Elder, the evil in your body is very strong. You can't be the demon apostle hiding in the Tower Question of God, right?" The red light in the mirror showed everything. The elders and Saint S in the hall were all stunned as they stared at the elder without moving. The elder's face sunk. He stared straight at Long Fei and shouted, "Long Fei, how dare you? You dare touch the punish evil mirror." Long Fei grinned and said, "It's just a joke. Don't be so serious. Don't worry. I won't tell anyone that you're the evil demon apostle." While they were talking, Long Fei held onto the punish evil mirror with one hand as he glanced at the elders in the great hall and said softly, "Who else wants to test their strength? This mirror is pretty fun." Wang Shishir pursed his lips and smiled. Everyone had greed and a dark side to them. As long as they had these, they would not be able to escape. At this moment, no one in the hall dared to speak. With the punish evil mirror in Long Fei's hands, if it really caught sight of them, then it would really be too late for them. The elder's expression was flustered and exasperated, like a cat stepping on its tail. He shouted solemnly, "Long Fei, this is a Tower Question of God. It is not a place for you to behave atrociously. Considering your low talent in blood vein, the blockages in your veins, and the various damage done by pubes, you are not suitable to enter the tower question of God. As you have passed the examination, I will now appoint you as a service disciple of the tower question of God. He quickly said. Without waiting for Long Fei to speak, the elder continued. Those who agree with my decision raise their hands. Whoosh, 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 asterisk, all of them raise their hands in unison. As agreed. Without any consideration, he hesitated. The elder immediately said, Temple question of God has unanimously passed. Long Fei, you are now just a service disciple. And then, an elder of the Beast Control Hall stood up and said, Holy Saint, our Beast Control Hall needs a service disciple to dig out the feces. All right, I'll give it to your Beast Control Hall. The elder laughed coldly and said, Congratulations to you, Long Fei, for becoming a service disciple of Beast Control Hall. All right, the meeting is over. The elder laughed coldly and said, Long Fei, if you don't accept this, you can complain to the Tower Lord. I'm sorry to tell you, but we don't know where the Tower Lord is either. Ha! If you don't accept it, you have to accept it too. Do you understand? The elder was extremely pleased with himself. Originally, he wanted to use the punish evil mirror to kill Long Fei, but without detecting that Long Fei had an evil side, he would not be able to use force to suppress him. However, he remembered what Zhan Wushuang had told him. He absolutely could not let Long Fei enter the tower question of God. Stealing the feces of a service disciple meant that the tower question of God would never be able to rise again in its entire life. Enter the tower question of God trial? That was a joke, Wang Shishir said angrily. Elder, Long Fei clearly passed the examination. How can you do this? The elder laughed. I'm just like that. What can you do? Wang Shishir, if it wasn't for the spirit communication badge in your hand, you wouldn't even be able to enter the temple question of God. And you're telling me all this? Who do you think you are? Very contemptuous. Wang Shishir was furious. He was about to go crazy. He was just worried that he would not have the chance to go berserk. As long as Wang Shishir took action, he would use all his strength to kill him. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. Long Fei suddenly took a step forward and grabbed Wang Shishir's arm. I'll agree to it. Wang Shishir's brows tightened and said, Long Fei, this is unfair to you. Long Fei laughed. To whom has this world been fair? The elder laughed in pride. You are right. Who has this world been fair to? I don't care if you're a dragon or a tiger, but if you're a dragon or a tiger, then you have to lay down and let me down, understand? I'll tell you something else. You won't have a good ending if you go against Lord Wushuang. Zhan Wushuang, Long Fei's eyes darkened and said coldly, It's Zhan Wushuang again. When we go back and tell your master, I will definitely enter the tower question of God, and he, Zhan Wushuang, will definitely be trampled to death by your father. Chapter 1491, Fecal Digging Disciple. Chapter 1491, Fecal Digging Disciple. The Saint-S in the Divine Hall were too powerful. Long Fei was unable to handle it. Wang Shishir was even less able to deal with it. Moreover, the elder had already decided to kill because of the punish evil mirror, and his magic body could clearly feel the killing intent. He needed a reason to go berserk. As long as Wang Shishir made the first move, both he and Long Fei would die here. Sometimes, Long Fei had no choice but to endure. Even if he was assigned to the Beast Control Hall to become a janitor disciple, he had no choice but to agree. He's okay. But the fairy elder sister could not let anything happen to her. She knew about her father's matter. Congratulations, Elder Qian. Congratulations. Elder Qian has obtained a janitor disciple. Haha. Elder Qian, in the future, if our law enforcement hall has any dung to dig, can we borrow your dung disciple? And my martial hall, my refining branch. Haha. Elder Qian, you're a genius to be a service disciple. You can even think of such a thing. The elders laughed out loud. Qian Zhongrui also laughed complacently. Don't worry, everyone. If you have anything to do, just leave it to him. He is not Beast Control Hall's disciple, but the entire tower question of God's disciple. Haha. Ha ha! The crowd burst into laughter. Wang Shirsher looked over, but was still pulled back by Long Fei, and said, "Don't worry, I'm fine. Tell my father, I will definitely enter the God's Tower, and I will definitely break through the 100th floor." Wang Shirsher lightly nodded and said, "Long Fei, you need to be more careful. Don't be discouraged even if you become a service disciple. Any disciple of the Tower Question of Goddess, as long as you have enough achievement points, you can exchange them for a trial of the Tower Question of God. You must not give up." "I won't give up." Long Fei giggled and said, "Thank you, Big Sister Fairy, for your concern. Big Sister, for me to have more motivation, can you motivate me a little?" Wang Shirsher asked, "What kind of motivation do you want?" Long Fei said, "For example, kissing me or something." Wang Shirsher's cheeks immediately flushed red, and she said, "Kid, what are you thinking about?" Long Fei said, "Do you agree?" Wang Shirsher pursed his lips and laughed. "As long as you can enter the Tower Question of God trial, I'll kiss you twice, okay? It's a deal." Long Fei immediately laughed. At this moment, Qian Zhongrui coldly snorted, stealing the feces of disciple Long Fei. "Follow me to the Beast Control Hall." Long Fei acted as if he hadn't heard anything, and said while looking at Wang Shirsher, "Little Sister Fairy, you must be careful yourself." Qian Zhongrui stared at him and shouted, "Long Fei, are you deaf?" In that instant, Long Fei suddenly turned, his eyes flashing with a cold, killing intent. "Don't court death, understand?" Qian Zhongrui's heart chilled, and he shivered slightly. For a moment, he was actually crushed by Long Fei's aura, and couldn't say a word. Half a minute later, Qian Zhongrui shouted, "Long Fei, you dare to speak to me like that? You disrespect the elders, and are punished with 10 days of not resting. Clean up Beast Garden for me." Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for triggering the quest. Cleaning Beast Garden rewards 100,000 experience, 1,000 holy source, 1,000 points. Long Fei did not think much of it. He was now at the semi-realistic realm, so is he going to level up to the divine level or something? There were some questions in his heart as well. Long Fei said coldly, "Clan Elder, are you going to the Beast Control Hall?" Qian Zhongrui swung his sleeves, coldly snorted, and said, "Brat, just you wait. I'll make you suffer." Beast Control Hall, one of the many halls in the Tower Question of God. They were specifically used to train war beasts, and also to train some beast-taming disciples. Some of the war beasts here come from other planes. It could be said that there was a herd of beasts in the innermost area of Chaos Realm. Beast Control Hall's mission was to tame them and turn them into powerful beasts so that they could be transported to the ancient holy battlefield for use one day. To send a beast into the ancient holy battlefield was to receive a reward from the god. Beast Control Hall had been working hard all these years. Other than them, there was also the Rift Soul Pass that the Beast King Question of God was protecting. That was also one of the Beast Control Hall's missions. He flew from Temple Question of God to Beast Control Hall for more than 2 hours. The entire Beast Control Hall was surrounded by a mountain, and from time to time, the sounds of demon beast roars would come out from the mountain forest. Qian Zhongrui brought Long Fei directly to the Beast Hall. The elders of the Beast Control Hall and disciples had long since been waiting here for them. The one seated at the very top was the Hall Master of the Beast Control Hall and also Qian Zhongrui's big brother, Qian Zhongrui. He glanced at Long Fei and faintly said, "Long Fei, I am a very easygoing person. As long as you hand over the gods' war beasts, I can guarantee that no one here will bully you, and you don't need to be a service disciple." This was the reason why Qian Zhongrui brought Long Fei back here. Gods' war beasts. Long Fei laughed coldly. Gods' war beasts? You want to go back? Sure. Finished. Long Fei moved, come out. Rumble. The gods' war beast's huge body rushed out and directly tore off the roof of the Beast Hall. His body was too huge, and the height of the Beast Hall wasn't even half of his body. The moment it was seen, it was immediately destroyed. Furthermore, the God's War Beast had done that intentionally. It waved the God's War Hammer in its hand fiercely. Walala. A perfectly fine Beast Hall was reduced to rubble in an instant. All the elders and disciples had stupefied expressions on their faces. Long Fei, Qian Zhongrui roared out in exasperation. Long Fei picked his ears and said, "I'm not deaf being called that loud." Qian Zhongrui shouted, "What do you mean by that? You want to challenge the entire beast control hall, right?" Long Fei laughed and said, "Nothing much. Didn't you say I was the hall master who handed over the gods were beasts? I've already handed it over. If you have the ability, you guys can take it back." The gods war beast stared at Qian Zhongrui. If he dared to shout at Long Fei again, he would smash the hammer down. Qian Zhongrui's brows tightened and said faintly, "Long Fei, what do you mean by this? Do you really want to be my enemy?" Long Fei grinned and laughed. "Hall Master, what you said is not right. Why is it that I am your enemy? It's clearly you guys who are making life difficult for me. I've already handed over the gods' war beasts. If you have the ability, then tame it. If you don't have the ability, then don't just blindly eavesdrop here. Just listen and get annoyed. Right, where's the beast garden? I'm going to dig out the dung. I'm an excrement disciple. I'm a fecal boy. There's a fecal ladle on my left hand and a bucket on my right. La la la." Long Fei immediately started humming. Qian Zhongrui was so angry that he wanted to die. Qian Zhongrui also heavily shouted, "Bring him to Beast Garden. If Long Fei sees that Beast Garden has a pile of beast feces, I will definitely heavily punish him." Long Fei didn't care at all. Beast Garden? Haha. This is F***King giving me more experience. Chapter 1492, Dragon Master. Chapter 1492, Dragon Master. What kind of place was the Beast Garden? The most precious place in Beast Control Hall. It was the origin of the entire tower question of God's Civil War beast, the origin of mounts. There were countless powerful war beasts here, and many of them came from all different planes. They all had one thing in common, and that was to be strong. The only thing that they had in common was, with a lot of experience and holy source, this was a boss that could deal a huge amount of damage. Thus, when Qian Zhongrui wanted Long Fei to clean up Beast Garden, his mind immediately turned evil. That was a huge wave of experience. Long Fei's level was not high yet. He had yet to reach the level where his experience was stagnant. In other words, there was still a realm above the semi-realistic realm. So since it was like this, he definitely had to level up. Could he not accept the free experience? Only a fool wouldn't want it. Big brother, are we going to let this kid off so easily? Look at how arrogant he is. It's simply lawless. Qian Zhongrui's face was filled with anger. He wished that he could tear Long Fei apart. Qian Zhongrui said slightly, "To be able to tame God's war beasts, this brat is not simple." Qian Zhongrui stared blankly for a moment and said, "Big brother, what are you saying? The God's war beasts should be ours, not that brat's." Qian Zhongrui said, "You and I have been unable to tame the God's war beasts for more than 100 years, but he was able to do so. It means that the God's war beasts does not belong to you and me. War beasts were demon beasts with intelligence. Taming them required not only a strong ability to control beasts, but also luck. If it was fated with you, you could easily tame it. If it was fated with you, no matter how hard you tried, it would be of no use." Qian Zhongrui had trained in the beast mastery for hundreds of years. He was very clear on this point. But Qian Zhongrui didn't care at all and said, "I don't care if it's fate or not. In any case, I'm just dissatisfied with this brat. Who does he think he is?" Qian Zhongrui said, "Other than God's war beasts, there are also Beast King question of Goddess. The reason why you look down on him is because his beast mastery is stronger than yours, and because he can tame the war beast that we cannot tame. Qian Rui, maybe he has the answers we're looking for." Qian Zhongrui's gaze tensed up. He looked at Qian Zhongrui, and his expression secretly changed. Qian Zhongrui looked up into the sky, deep in thought. What was the limit of the beast mastery? Beast Garden. A disciple of the Beast Control Hall reminded him out of good intentions. "Junior brother, this is the Beast Garden. Many service disciples died in there." Long Fei said, "Thank you. If people give me 1 point, I'll give them 3. You're welcome. I have heard about your matters." The disciples of our beast control Hall admire you for taming the beast king question of God. The disciple said in a low voice. Long Fei smiled slightly. The disciple said, the beast garden is divided into two parts. One part is the abandoned garden, the other part is the untamed beasts, and the other part is the beast garden. It is relatively safer there, so you should go there to familiarize yourself with the situation. All right, junior brother, this is all I can say. Be careful. Seeing an elder walk out, he immediately retreated. The clan elder looked at Long Fei and said, so you are the new service disciple? Long Fei nodded and said, I am. Follow me. The elder turned around and walked in. Roughly 4 hours later, the elder pointed to a cave in front of them. It is useless to see a huge cave. There's a pile of demon beast excrement in there. Go and clean it up. Long Fei asked slightly. Clan elder, are there any demon beast inside? The elder gave a disdainful sneer and said, why are you asking so much bullshit? If I tell you to go, then go. If you dare to continue talking, then I will cripple you. White smoke rose from the huge cave. Obviously, there were demon beasts inside. The meaning of the management elder of the beast garden was also very obvious. It was to send Long Fei to his death. The corner of Long Fei's mouth twitched, and he did not speak any further, only saying, understood. And then he walked towards the huge cave and thought to himself, I was really afraid that I would not have a war beast. Not long after, Qian Zhongrui walked out from the woods and asked, how's the explanation? Reporting a great elder, I saw Long Fei entering the lava beast cave. In less than 10 minutes, he will be eaten by the lava beast king. And that place is extremely small. God's war beast can't even get out. Everything was within his calculations. Qian Zhongrui laughed coldly, looked at the huge cave and said, brat, I'm still not able to deal with you? Lava Beast King, this is a pinnacle war beast. Without the protection of the gods' war beasts, I want to see how you can still be so arrogant. Ha! The elder also laughed loudly. Within the cave, Sky's swallowing rat, eat him. Understood. The Sky's swallowing rat rushed out and immediately swallowed the Lava Beast King before it could react. With a gulp sound, it entered the Lava Beast's stomach. A few seconds later, ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100,000 experience points for killing Lava Beast King, 30,000 Holy Source, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Lava Blood Vein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Lava Fist. Do you wish to learn it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. The system exploded. Exchange points. Long Fei converted all the items into points. Right now, he needed a wave of points, power of blood god, and even fitted soul. He had to be prepared. Moreover, there were still a lot of things that Long Fei needed in the exchange hall. For example, some special items. Loyalty Stone. He needed to expand his heavenly court and underworld secret base. That's right. Long Fei's mind shook, and he muttered, this is my lifespan. If I can tame all the war beasts here, wouldn't that be a group of super boss war beasts? Heh. These war beasts were all boss level, so the amount of experience they could gain from killing them was much greater than taming them. Half an hour later, Long Fei walked out of the huge hole, with one hand holding onto the *T ladle and the other holding onto the wooden bucket. He looked like a professional feces picker. He didn't die. The elder's face sank. Qian Zhongrui glared fiercely and said, useless trash. Humph! Qian Zhongrui looked at Long Fei with an extremely unhappy heart and said, let him enter the dragon cave. That elder was stunned. Great elder, I'm afraid that's not good. I'm not saying that it's not good if he's dead, but if I enrage that guy, the consequences would be unimaginable. That is divinity of the dragon race. What if? His voice was trembling. Dragon Clan Master. From the Divinity. Chapter 1493. Fecking I am a professional. Chapter 1493. Fecking I am a professional. Elder, is there anything else that needs cleaning? East of the valley. All right. With one hand holding the sh*t and the other holding the wooden bucket, Long Fei immediately headed towards the eastern valley. Half an hour later, a flying tiger, whose body was covered in black and white, with a pair of steel wings on its back, stood in front of Long Fei as if it was impotent. "Are you convinced?" Long Fei shouted. "I'm just asking you, are you convinced?" The flying tiger said bitterly, Of course. How could I not?" On the left was the god's war beasts. On the right was the sky-swallowing rat. As long as he dared to say half a no, he would beat the crap out of them. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "As long as you submit. Bring it on. Sign an agreement with me." Long Fei's idea moved and entered the soaring tiger's sea of consciousness. The power of the beast mastery poured in. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for taming soaring tiger. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the war pet's ancient ferocious beast, soaring tiger. 100 experience points for the spirit appraisal. 100 points for the soaring tiger. 100 points for the spirit test. 100 points for the special reward. Idea controlled the soaring tiger. Long Fei said slightly, "Right now, clean up your place. Remember, you must clean it well. You can't just urinate on the spot. If not, your father will *king cover you up." The flying tiger was suffering, and it even had the heart to die. The god's war beast suddenly shouted, "Did you hear what boss said?" Yes. I'll go clean up now." The flying tiger said bitterly. He was once a king, but now he had fallen to digging out dung. What was this? Moreover, he had no choice but to do it. If he did not do it, the god's war beast would be able to move his head with a single strike, and the other sky-swallowing rat would be able to swallow him whole. Just thinking about it made him feel bitter. All his life, all those beast masters and beast control hall couldn't do anything to him, but in the end, he was still tamed. Sigh. The flying tiger let out a long sigh. With a stare from the god's war beasts, he immediately ran out and said, "I'm going to clean up now. I'm going in the western valley. Are you convinced?" Long Fei arrogantly stared at the black gorilla in front of him. It was much bigger than the King Kong in the movies, but it was different. His face was now covered in tears as he cried, I surrender. That's more like it. Come, sign a contract with me." Long Fei's beast mastery moved and easily entered the gorilla's sea of consciousness, taming it in an instant. The gorilla didn't dare to resist at all, because the result of his resistance was that there would be a few more bundles on his head. The god's war hammer would be floating on top of his head. A hammer will come down. He didn't dare to. Ding! Congratulations, player Long Fei, for obtaining the ancient war pet, King Kong Fury Ape. You have received 100 experience points, 100 holy source, and 100 points. You have received a special reward of 100 points. In the Southern Valley. 10 minutes later, the system beep appeared in Long Fei's mind again. Long Fei stayed in the Beast Garden mountain range for the whole half a month, cleaning everything in sight with a *T ladle in his hands, cleaning wherever he went. Like a cleaner. In the Beast Hall, why are the war beasts in the forest crying less and less? Qian Changrui felt it was strange, so he asked casually. An elder replied, probably because he has been living in peace recently. Right. Qian Changrui asked again, how is the service disciple Long Fei now? Although he is only a disciple of digging through feces, his ability to tame God's war beasts is not simple. It is possible that he is a genius beast tamer. The reason why our beast control hall's influence has been weakening year by year in the Tower Question of God is not because our beasts are not strong enough, but because we, the beast control hall, have not been able to obtain any war beasts. It couldn't be tamed at all. This brat might be able to change our beast control hall. Qian Changrui said indifferently. Qian Zhongrui immediately said, Hall Master, he is only a service disciple, and also a trash with a low talent for blood vein S. He used to be a slave, but this kind of lowly trash can't even be considered a part of the show. Is there a need for us to use him? Qian Changrui said, we all know in our hearts whether he is trash or not. To be able to tame God's war beasts is not by luck. I wanted to participate in this Beast Master exam. What's everyone's opinion? As soon as he finished, the faces of all the elders in the hall slightly trembled. Qian Jinrui immediately said, "I object. He is a janitor disciple. He has no qualifications to participate in the Beast Master exam." "Me too. Hall Master, you can't possibly say that you were able to let him participate in the examination just because he tamed Beast King Question of God, right?" "Hall Master, I don't know about anything else, but I only know one thing. Long Fei has offended a lot of people in the Tower Question of God, and one of them was Zhan Wushuang. Think about it. If he became a Beast Master disciple, then the powers in the various halls would definitely target us, the Beast Control Hall." "Me too." Many of the elders objected. Long Fei had offended too many people. If they supported him, he would definitely offend many people, especially Zhan Wushuang. The current Zhan Wushuang was at the peak of the Tower Question of God. Who would dare to offend him? He was someone who was destined to enter the ancient holy battlefield. Who would dare make him an enemy? Qian Changrui's brows tightly knitted. He did not think that there would be so many elders who objected. The meeting came to an end. However, Qian Changrui did not give up. Long Fei had done something that he did not. He knew that Long Fei was a genius beast tamer. Such a genius should not be buried. "Are you convinced?" Boom! Without waiting for the demon beast to speak, the God's War beast smashed its head with its hammer, causing a huge bump on its head. "Tisk TSK, TSK. Can't I tame it?" Brother Long chuckled and said, "That's more like it. Come, sign an agreement with me." The beast mastery was unleashed. Half a minute later, ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the war pet. Long Fei opened the system to have a look, and his face revealed a pleased smile. In half a month, 28 super beasts, these guys can definitely form a super war beast regiment. Yin Huang Ancestor, the mission that you gave me is actually being completed step by step. Disintegrate the Tower Question of God. These beasts were not in Long Fei's war pet space, which had only recorded their names. All the war beasts were in their original positions. Their relationship with Long Fei was a contractual one, and before they could be of use, they were like time bombs. Once Long Fei activated them, they would instantly explode. Instead of entering the God's Tower, Long Fei had more time to understand it. He actually wanted to torture it, then uproot the roots. That's fun. Chapter 1494 Thunder Beasts Enraged. Long Fei made his move. Chapter 1494 Thunder Beasts Enraged. Long Fei made his move. How is Long Fei now? Reporting to Young Master, Long Fei became a service disciple in the Beast Control Hall just to dig out the feces. I find it funny just by thinking about it. A Saint Presbyter could not help but laugh. Zhan Wushuang also sneered, but he understood Long Fei and was definitely not willing to become a service disciple. "I will enter the God's Tower tomorrow, and you keep an eye on him. Remember, no matter what, you can't let him enter the Tower Question of God." The elder nodded, yes. In this half a month, Zhan Wushuang left the Tower Question of God. He once again increased the God Shield's power to 1,000 levels, and made the 9 Secret Warrior family and the Hell Gate gather even more ancient spiritual artifact crazily. Also, during this time, Zhan Wushuang entered one of the 9 nether battles. Now, his cultivation base wanted to become even more powerful than it was half a month ago. Right now, even if he did not use God's Shield S, he was confident that he would be able to defeat Long Fei in one move. He had now obtained one of the Master's sacred arts. Dealing with Long Fei was easy. This sacred art was also the power he had used to attack the rest of the 20 layers of God's Tower. Saint Presbyter walked out of Zhan Wushuang's courtyard. With a bland smile, he said, "That disciple who dug out the feces still has something to watch over. He's already crippled." Long Fei had not made a sound for half a month, so it was clear that he was crippled. Such a person was not worth his time to keep an eye on. Thus, he also did not take Zhan Wushuang's words to heart. The Beast Master Mountain Range was a place of exile. Who could jump out from that place? The weakest existence amongst all the forces in Beast Control Hall. Long Fei was also a service disciple of the Beast Control Hall and was even digging out feces, so it was even more impossible for him to rise again. Furthermore, for someone like Qian Zhongrui to suppress him and make him rise up from being a service disciple, that was simply an impossible feat. For half a month, there was not a single bit of news related to Long Fei. Many people thought that Long Fei had been tamed. He was just a piece of trash now. Trash who had perished in Beast Control Hall. How many people would remember him? Elder, I've cleaned everything that needs cleaning. Is there anything else you need to clean? I heard that there are some arrays that restrict the Beast Garden's forbidden grounds. Those arrays, there are all the scariest beasts in history. Do you want me to clean those places? Long Fei's face was sincere. The beast he was controlling could only be considered a low-level beast in the Beast Garden. A truly savage war beast would not be so easy to come into contact with. Moreover, they were all sealed with formations, just like the gigantic evil spirits suppressed by the Rift Soul Pass. That was a truly terrifying beast. Long Fei really wanted to get all of them. Lu Wu looked at Long Fei's sincere face and sneered. Are you addicted to digging for feces? In his heart, he was also full of contempt. He's really a piece of trash. He's so active in digging out feces. Long Fei said, I'm a little addicted. Do you still have a place for me to go? Lu Wu remembered what Qian Zhongrui said about the Dragon Clan Master last time. His eyes turned sinister as he thought to himself, since you want to die, then... Just as he was about to speak of the Dragon Clan Master's forbidden area, there was a roar not too far away. Lu Wu's eyes lit up. Damn it, Beast Garden is in trouble. Long Fei also muttered, the beasts are enraged. Someone is going to die. Run. The Thunder Beast is enraged. Everyone run. Miserable screams came from the forest. This was a lesson on beast taming. But he didn't expect that the originally docile thunderous beast would go completely berserk and completely lose control of the situation. Moreover, that elder was instantly turned into slag by a bolt of lightning. The disciples of the Beast Control Hall also scattered in all directions. However, a thunder beast was a high-level battle beast, and the destructive power of a lightning beast in a berserk state would skyrocket. The lightning field that was released was incomparably massive. It was impossible for the disciples to dodge it. Lu Wu did not care about Long Fei and immediately escaped. Hall Master, the Thunder Beast is enraged. Right now, no one can control it. Elder Lin is already dead inside. There are still dozens of disciples inside. What should we do now? Qian Zhongrui didn't think much about it and immediately said, Follow me. Save the person first. As for the lightning beast, if you can't control it, kill it. Qian Zhongrui immediately objected. Hall Master, the lightning beasts are high-level beasts, and half of them are already tamed. They cannot be killed. If we can't kill them, then those disciples are doomed. Saving him is more important. Kill him, Qian Zhongrui said determinedly, and then led a group of people to quickly rush to Beast Garden. Long Fei heard the screams coming from the forest and completely ignored them. No matter how many people died, it would have nothing to do with him. Just as he was about to leave, a disciple ran out and saw Long Fei suddenly shouting, Save the person inside, please. That disciple was the one who had brought Long Fei to the Beast Garden. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The lightning snakes danced chaotically, and the sound of thunder wreaked havoc. The entire forest was in the middle of a minefield, and anyone who entered it would die at the cost of half their life. Long Fei looked at him. Without hesitation, he burst forth with his cultivation and immediately ran up. Rumble! A bolt of lightning struck down, and Long Fei grabbed onto the disciple. With a leap, he shouted out loud, Quickly run! Leave the rest to me. With that, Long Fei rushed into the lightning field. Crack, crack, crack. Not only was there an enormous amount of lightning, the entire lightning field was filled with lightning elements. Crackling and popping, lightning appeared on Long Fei's body. This was far more powerful than he had imagined. Buzz, Azura battle form, open. A layer of defense overlaid him. Long Fei's speed increased again as he rushed to the center of the lightning field. At this moment, one of the disciples fell to the ground. His chest was char-black and his body was twitching. The other few disciples were hiding in a corner and shivering, completely panicking. Rumble. Thunder Snake's spear, the war beast, let out an angry roar. Its lightning was vicious, and like a giant python, it struck the injured disciple on the ground. Long Fei's body rushed forward and landed beside that disciple. He stared at the lightning beast not far away and said, "I'll give you a chance. Take away all your bullshit lightning fields otherwise." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, the beast roared, "Who the hell do you think you are to dare talk to me like that? Even Qian Changrui has to kneel in front of me." Rumble. Thunder Snake struck Xiang Long Fei. Long Fei turned his right hand over, causing the sword of destroy to instantly combust. "Damn you!" Shua. His body charged forward. It instantly appeared in front of the lightning beast. At this moment, Qian Changrui rushed over with an elder. Qian Zhongrui shouted, "Long Fei, you dare to kill it, I will take your life." The thunderous beast was the result of several years of painstaking effort in taming it. It cannot be destroyed just like that. However, Long Fei ignored him, and the sword of destroy slashed down. Chapter 1495, Uninterested. Chapter 1495. Uninterested, he completely ignored Qian Zhongrui. The sword of destroy in Long Fei's hands, Fire God's saber chi, furiously slashed down. Chua. The electric snake flashed as it heavily blocked the attack. A ball of fire and a ball of electricity clashed together, creating a crazy explosion. The scene was extremely frightening. Boom, boom, boom. Huge tremors rang out incessantly. The lightning beast became even angrier, but Long Fei's eyes darkened, the idea moved, and the Yang God's power within the sword of destroy burst out with a heavy shout, "Break for me!" A loud shout rang out. With a heaven-defying momentum, the powerful Fire God saber, Qi, crushed the entire electrical light. Furthermore, it was crushed like an eggshell. Boom! It shattered into pieces. Crackle, crackle, crackle. All of the thunder and lightning in the lightning field was crushed back into the Thunder Beast's body. This scene, he was utterly shocked. The surrounding elders and disciples were all stunned. The power that Long Fei had released was simply too strong. Formidable? Only Long Fei knew how much power he had used just now. This Berserk Thunder Beast's power was extremely shocking, and its control of Thunder Element was also at a shocking level. If it wasn't for the eruption of the power of the Sun God, it really wouldn't have been able to crush it. The sword of destroy sank and pressed down on the Thunder Beast's shoulder. As the sword sank into the thunderous beast's flesh, blood spurted out. Qian Zhongrui suddenly shouted, "Brat, you dare to kill it. I will forever be with you." After working so hard for a few years, he couldn't let Long Fei destroy it like this. This was a thunder beast that he had tamed for several years. It was about to succeed. If he died to Long Fei, he would really cry to death. Qian Changrui said slightly, "Long Fei, if you would please show mercy, this lightning beast is something he tamed this year." "Is that so?" A cold smile appeared on Long Fei's face. "Since it's like this, you should have said so earlier." The sword of destroy fiercely retracted. Qian Zhongrui's heart loosened. He shouted out, "Brat, at least you're sensible." Before he could finish his words, Long Fei flipped his left hand and shouted in a deep voice, "Beast Mastery." Buzz! A powerful force instantly surged into the thunderous beast's sea of consciousness. In that instant, the thunderous beast's idea was under the control of the powerful force. Rumble! The thunderous beast's body struggled violently, and all the muscles on its body trembled. In a short 3 seconds, all the spirit chi was withdrawn, and they quietly stood behind Long Fei. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully summoning the Thunder Beast. The taming was successful. The current Thunder Beast was Long Fei's war pet. The look in its eyes had completely changed, becoming very docile. The surrounding people were all scared silly. It was extremely difficult to tame a thunder beast. Great Elder Qian Zhongrui had spent a few years just to tame it a little, but he had never really conquered it nor become its beast. However, Long Fei only used a second. This kind of beast mastery was 10 times stronger than the great Grandmaster beast trainer like them, and it was more than 100 times stronger. Shock. He was extremely shocked. Qian Chengrui's eyes trembled. She was too excited to the point of being unable to speak. Too powerful. This brat is too powerful. He is simply a super genius. However, Qian Zhongrui's expression was the complete opposite. His anger was boundless as he took a step forward and roared towards Xiang Longfei. "Kid, what did you do?" Not waiting for him to get close. The thunder beast moved, blocking in front of Long Fei. With a thunderous boom, it directly sent Qian Zhongrui flying and smashed heavily onto the ground like a dead dog. Automatically protect, possessing the consciousness of the self, without the need to truly control it. Is it relying solely on itself? Oh my God! The surrounding elders all had expressions of shock on their faces. It was impossible to describe the excitement they felt in their hearts. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed this to be real. To be able to tame it in 1 second, and not just to control the war beast, but to have it submit to them in the true sense. This kind of beast mastery, it was completely different from theirs. Qian Changrui glanced at Qian Zhongrui and said, "Men, bring him down." And then he excitedly walked forward and asked, "Long Fei, are you willing to participate in the Beast Master exam to become a true disciple of the Beast Control Hall?" Long Fei grinned and said, "I'm not interested." Then Long Fei looked at the thunderous beast and said, "Let's go." He picked up the *T and started singing, left hand, right hand in a slow motion. That figure was simply enough to mesmerize a group of people. Even Qian Changrui felt a little like worshipping him. No way. A genius disciple like this can't be wasted in vain. Qian Changrui's heart tightened and thought to himself, right now, the Beast Control Hall needs talented people, talents who can lead the rise of the Beast Control Hall. Long Fei, no matter who you have offended, no matter what happened in your past, you are the talent that I want. I will never let you go. Long Fei disappeared into the forest. However, the scene of him taming the thunderous beast in a second was imprinted in the hearts of every single disciple. It cannot be described with words. In the Beast Hall, I would like to propose once again that Long Fei join the Beast Master exam. Qian Changrui said, "I object." After bandaging himself up, Qian Zhongrui once again objected and said, "A person like him is fundamentally unworthy of being our Beast Control Hall's disciple. He is absolutely against it." Qian Changrui said, "You have also seen his beast mastery. The one he grasps is different from us. His beast mastery is stronger than all of us. Such a genius cannot be wasted." Qian Zhongrui said, "I don't care if he's a genius or not. In short, I do not agree. I hope that all elders can carefully consider it. The one he offended is Zhan Wushuang. If we help him up, our Beast Control Hall will definitely be affected." Qian Changrui frowned and said, "Zhan Wushuang is truly powerful, but our Beast Control Hall will not be manipulated by others. If we want to rise up, we must rely on Long Fei's talent. It's fine if you don't agree to this matter. It's fine if you do. In any case, I will definitely let him participate in the Beast Master exam." Qian Changrui had already made his decision. Qian Zhongrui's face turned ugly. The hall fell silent. After a long while, an elder said slightly, "Hall Master, the key thing is that Long Fei is not interested in the Beast Master exam right now. What should we do?" Long Fei rejected her bluntly. He really had no interest in the Beast Master exam. Right now, the thing he wanted to do the most was to tame all of those extremely powerful vicious beasts in the Beast Garden, especially the powerful war beasts in the restricted areas. When he heard about the Dragon Clan Master, his blood boiled. Qian Changrui smiled faintly and said, "Leave this matter to me. I have a way to let him participate in the examination." Chapter 1496, Instructor Ironblood. Chapter 1496, Instructor Ironblood. Where is the restricted area of the Array Formation? Long Fei searched the entire mountain. However, he didn't have a clue. He had been through the entire mountain range, yet he couldn't find any forbidden areas. This made him very unhappy. The divinity's dragon race suffered from the destructive attack and escaped in all directions. There are gods martial continent S, but would there be chaos realm S as well? Could the dragon clan's master S have escaped from the divinity as well? Long Fei's thoughts flew. The Long family was the dragon race. The dragon race was the Long family. Every single huge dragon was actually an extension of the blood vein and part of the Long family. Returning to the divinity was the dream of every dragon clan disciple. It was the same for Long Fei as well. If he could find the dragon clan master, he might be able to find some information about them. However, he was unable to find anything for several days. Big Brother Long Fei. Not far away, a Beastmaster School disciple walked over. It was the disciple that Long Fei had saved last time. Imperial City. When the Imperial City saw Long Fei, they quickly walked over and said, "Big Brother Long Fei, did you find an even stronger beast?" Long Fei shook his head. "I couldn't find it." At this moment, 6 more disciples walked out from the forest. These were all the disciples that Long Fei had brought out in front of the Thunder Beast last time. When they saw Long Fei, they were all excited. Long Fei asked, "Are you in the trial?" "The Beast Master exam is coming in a few days. We need to hurry and train. Becoming a strong beast trainer is our dream. Brother Long Fei, can you teach us beast taming?" A younger disciple said. His eyes were hopeful. The other disciples were the same. Long Fei's performance last time was too impressive and left an unerasable impression in their hearts. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for triggering the quest and imparting it to the Beast Mastery. Mission: impart the Beast Mastery level. Reward: 100,000 experience points, 10,000 holy source, 10,000 points. Note: obtaining an S rank reward is a special item. Long Fei thought for a moment. Since there was nothing to do, and he couldn't find the forbidden grounds, he said, "All right, I'll teach you guys a move." Task accepted. Long Fei brought the 7 of them to the Deep Mountains Road to explain some of the basic conditions and requirements of the Beast Mastery. These people were all extremely talented. It would be done at 1 o'clock. Theory is always theory. If you want to improve the Beast Mastery, you still have to rely on practice, understand? Many disciples nodded. Not long after, they found a giant golden python deep in the mountains. Long Fei made everyone stop and said, "This is an intermediate level war beast. Regarding this kind of beast, the first thing you guys need to do is to use your Beastmaster idea to enter his sea of consciousness. Let's start with the exchange. If you're unable to communicate, then use tough techniques. In short, what you want are not war pets, but brothers that are fighting together with you. Also, do not be afraid. I'm afraid. Your momentum will be lost. War beasts are the same as humans. They don't like to choose the weak. Let's begin." Long Fei told them his experience in controlling beasts. Of course, he did not impart the ultimate profound truths that the Sleeping Beauty had imparted to him. Even if he were to impart them to them, these disciples would not understand it. Hiss! A idea rushed into the golden python's sea of consciousness. The giant golden python was instantly enraged. He rushed directly towards a disciple, who was so scared that his face turned pale and he fell to the ground. Everyone rushed up to him and tried to help him up. Long Fei suddenly shouted, "Don't help anyone. I just said, war beasts don't like the weak. If a giant golden python can scare you to this extent, what about after? What should he do if he met a god-level war beast? What if one of your beasts wants to enter the ancient holy battlefield? What's the use of being like this?" Long Fei shouted heavily. The Beast Mastery's body was extremely weak. Their strength, speed, and defense were all ordinary and weak because they were focusing all their energy on the cultivation of the Beast Mastery. When facing a gigantic war beast, they usually had to flee after a single failure, waiting for the next opportunity. The disciple was so scared that he fell to the ground. his face pale and trembling. Seeing the giant golden python getting closer, he was already panicking. "Save me! Save me! Come and save me!" Long Fei said heavily. "Do you want to be a weakling for your entire life? Do you want to do nothing for the rest of your life? If you don't want to, then fight with me and conquer this war beast. If you cannot conquer this war beast by force, then use your unyielding spirit to conquer it." The disciple's face turned white. He did not listen to Long Fei at all. Boom! Long Fei's voice exploded as he roared. "Do you want to be a weakling forever?" Rumble, rumble, rumble. The disciple's heart sank. Long Fei's voice directly struck his mind. At the same time, he released a roar. He was going to throw caution to the wind. He got up from the ground and rushed towards the golden python. In the blink of an eye, he had become a man who was willing to risk his life. The beast mastery was released one after another. The giant golden python was also infuriated. It swung its huge tail and caught him, and with a violent tug, it was sent flying into the air and heavily crashed down. Boom! A mouthful of blood sprayed out. The faces of the disciples beside Long Fei darkened. They all wanted to rush out, but Long Fei still firmly stopped them. "Big brother Long Fei, he will die. Big brother Long Fei, he can't take it anymore. Our cultivation can't compare to yours. If you try a few more times, he'll die. Indeed, a few more times and he'll die." Long Fei said coldly. "So what if I die? He would always be a weakling and a trash. What was the point of such a person living? Do you want to live a life where others despise you and mock you? Or do you want to die with pride?" Long Fei kept his eyes on the golden python. He was also looking at the amount of blood on the disciple's head. However, he had the expression of a cold-blooded instructor. Boom! The disciple continued to risk his life, to completely sacrifice himself. Long Fei's words were what hurt him the most. He didn't want to be a weakling, didn't want to be a trash that everyone mocked and laughed at. He didn't want to see a lightning beast hide in a corner and tremble. He didn't want to. Boom! The giant golden python swung its tail again. He was sent flying again. However, he crawled back up and said solemnly, "So what if you are strong? I will make you my beast, I will do it. Bring it on. I will show you a different world." He once again charged up to face the golden python. It was also at this moment. The golden python opened its bloody mouth and tried to swallow him up. He stood where he was without moving an inch and said heavily, "Do you want to curl up here for the rest of your life? Come with me and see the outside world." Boom! Clenching his teeth, he released a stream of beast mastery. At this moment, Long Fei bowed slightly. Buzz! Suddenly, the giant golden python froze in one spot and did not swallow it. That disciple also turned around to look at Long Fei in an instant and said excitedly, "I succeeded." Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, the system sounded out a notification sound. Ding! Chapter 1497, 3 years. Chapter 1497, 3 years, Long Fei was slightly surprised. "You only completed the mission?" Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the Inheritance of the Beast Mastery mission. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100,000 experience, 10,000 holy source, 10,000 points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining S level. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the special item Group Demonic Token. A special item called the Group of Demons Token. This is a god or horse? Long Fei muttered in his heart. He then checked the properties of the item and opened the system to take a look. Good stuff. Item, Monster Bestowal Token Description. Summoning 10,000 Demon Beast. Lasts for 1 hour. Description 2, one time. The heck? Long Fei was grinning from ear to ear. This is just like the scatter seeds which become solidars. It's just that those are magic weapon, and these are demon beast. However, the reward was secondary. The key point was that this was the first time Long Fei had this kind of honor of passing on knowledge and dispelling doubts. Why was it a sense of honor? because this was the first time Long Fei had truly become someone else's master. This feeling was very special to him. Be it the powerhouse from the heavenly court or the infernal realm, Long Fei's Kunlun sect or the Thunder Beast race, Long Fei had never guided them in their cultivation before. It could be said, not even once. They were like sheep being farmed, allowing them to develop and explore. It was good, but also had its drawbacks. He needed someone to guide him on the path of martial arts. He needed a beacon to guide him in order to not lose his way and find a path that suited him. Long Fei only gave them reliance. This was the proof of 8 King Kong's choice. Suddenly, Long Fei had a feeling that not everything he had done before was right. As the sect master, I have never done anything about the creation of the gods' martial sect. The rank of the gods' martial sect has never been established, so I should take the main responsibility. As the sect master, he did not do anything. It was far from enough to only provide support in terms of equipment. Big brother Long Fei, I succeeded. I succeeded. Thank you. Thank you for your guidance. That disciple was extremely excited, an indescribable feeling that he had never felt before. Following behind him was the giant golden python. The sense of satisfaction, the sense of honor, was incomparably strong. The disciples were all incomparably happy as well. The imperial city looked at Long Fei with some suspicion and said, "Big brother Long Fei, if we don't succeed in the end, will you save him?" Long Fei regained his composure and smiled, saying, "I won't. That's his choice." He clearly felt that Long Fei was going to rush out at that time. Long Fei said indifferently, "Go back and tell the Hall Master that there's no need to persuade me anymore. I will not participate in the Beastmaster exam. I will go into closed-door cultivation for a few years, and I will stay in Beast Garden for these few years." Finished, Long Fei walked into the forest. He was going to go into seclusion. He wanted to guide Hua Xian and the others. He wanted to let the heroes on his cards, as well as the powerhouse, all get promoted one by one, because their becoming strong will directly affect the level of God's martial sect. If they could raise their cultivation level, the God's martial sect would quickly raise it to level 10, and they would be able to activate the guild teleportation. In the Beast Hall, Qian Changrui looked at the Imperial City and asked, "Did he really say that?" The Imperial City nodded and replied, "Reporting to Hall Master, that's what Long Fei said." I don't know why he suddenly said he wanted to go into closed-door cultivation, but at that time, it felt like enlightenment. Qian Changrui muttered and gently bit down on the 2 words, sudden enlightenment. After a long time, Qian Changrui also did not understand what Long Fei was trying to do. However, as long as Long Fei does not leave the Beast Garden, he was not worried, and said, "Pass down my order. Do not let anyone disturb Long Fei." The Imperial City immediately replied, "As you wish." The capital retreated. Qian Changrui looked at the sky that was shrouded in immortal clouds and muttered, "Long Fei, I'll give you 3 years." In a hidden valley, the Kunlun sect disciples of the Heavenly Court and the Beast Race Warrioress were all summoned by Long Fei. Hua Xian asked, "Sect Master, is there something urgent?" Everyone looked at Long Fei. Long Fei said indifferently, "There's no rush. I want to personally guide you in cultivation." The Sleeping Beauty also woke up and giggled. "Master, I will do my best to help you." Hua Xian was stunned. He did not understand. Long Fei said once again, "I will allow all of you to reach the peak realm of great perfection. Bring it on. Tell me all the problems you met in your cultivation." The Heavenly Court and the Infernal Realm. 2 big secret training bases, one for Long Fei and the other for the more than 100 system reward card powerhouse. Red Hair, Thunderbird, Lady Misfortune. These people also need to be upgraded. In addition to the increase in strength, the time spent on the field would also increase. Also, he could not do much in 5 minutes, but he could do a lot of things in an hour or 2. For example, talking about One Piece with the red hair. For example, he would chat with Huang Long about some interesting things about the prehistoric era. Sleeping Beauty could be said to be omnipotent. Martial arts training was omnipotent. Cultivation technique omnipotent. Even the various auxiliary methods were at their peak and could be used to imbue Long Fei with things from his new realm. Boom, boom. From time to time, a rumbling sound could be heard coming from the valley. I've broken through. Master, I've already broken through to the next stage. There were people breaking through every day. Leighton, the beast race is strong in terms of physical body and strength. Furthermore, they also have your ability to break through. Their mounts are your second life. I want to train you to become a holy knight of the beast race. Long Fei slightly said, Beast race holy knight. Invincible charge. Red hair, if your overbearing aura can be fully integrated into your blade technique, then your strength can go a step further. Let me teach you how to combine the overbearing aura with your sword technique. Big sister Lucky you. Sis, can you not wink at me? My little heart can't take it. Time flew by. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. Too many things had happened in the past 3 years. Long Fei was forgotten. Zhan Wushuang entered the 98th floor of the God's Tower S. Xin Yuan Li'er entered the 90th floor of the God's Tower S. With the help of the 9 Secret Warrior family, the Hell Gate had annexed the 10,000 Alliance sect and the Bounty Gate, becoming the strongest power in the mortal world of the Chaos Realm. In these 3 years, ancient spiritual artifacts were being harvested everywhere. Someone said that the Hell Gate's ancient spiritual artifact could already form mountains. It could be said, the entire Chaos Realms were all in the hands of the Hell Gate. And in these 3 years, Long Fei stayed in the valley and did not leave even half a step. All sorts of war beasts guarded the valley, and no one dared to even take half a step near it. Rumble, rumble, bang after bang. One disciple after another stood in front of Long Fei. At this moment, Long Fei looked at the experience of the God's Martial Sect Guild and quickly went up. Soon, we'll be at level 10. Chapter 1498, Beast of Hell. Chapter 1498, Beast of Hell. Boom. Beast Control Hall outside the gate. In 3 years, look at what your Beast Control Hall has done. A bunch of useless bums. If you don't even have a proper war beast, how can you make Master Zhan Wushuang enter the ancient holy battlefield? You useless trash. A golden armor elder scolded. Behind him were 10 golden armored guards. Qian Chengrui's expression was ugly as he said, Golden armor. My Beast Control Hall is not for you to point fingers at anything. Who do you think you are? Beast Control Hall didn't make any contributions during these 3 years. This caused the Tower Question of God to be extremely dissatisfied. It was also because of this that the cultivation resources obtained by the Beast Control Hall in these few years were becoming fewer and fewer. Now, even a golden armor bodyguard could bully them. Zhan Wushuang stepped into the 98th floor of the God's Tower. Breaking through the God's Tower was just around the corner. However, until now, they had not found a single beast to give to Zhan Wushuang, which made many Saint Presbyter unsatisfied. Zhan Wushuang was now a pearl, a giant star, a great treasure in their eyes. He would soon be able to enter the ancient holy battlefield. With his potential, his cultivation would definitely be able to shine and win glory for them, and they would also receive rewards. It was highly likely that the divine gift was a divine spark. The golden armor elder snorted and took out an order badge from his chest pocket, laughing coldly. Qian Changrui, do you know what this is? 20 levels of the God's Tower, Sacred Master's Medallion. Qian Changrui's face darkened, and fear surfaced on the faces of the elders beside him. Golden armor elder shouted, kneel down. Boom! The golden armor released a burst of golden light, and following that, the golden light exploded after a deep sound, directly smashing Qian Changrui into pieces. Qian Changrui clenched his fists tightly, feeling extremely unresigned. He slowly kneeled on the ground and said, I pay my respects to Holy Saint. All the disciples of the Beast Control Hall kneeled down. Ha! Golden Armor Elder laughed proudly and said, Who do I think I am? Qian Changrui. Now, do you know what I am? So what if I ride on your head and shit on your head? Umph! A bunch of trash. It was a crushing blow. Qian Changrui clenched his teeth so hard that his teeth made cracking noises, but he couldn't do anything about it. The golden armor elder disdainfully said, "The holy saint has ordered for you to tame the beast of hell within 3 days so that it can be used as Master Zhan Wushuang's mount to enter the ancient holy battlefield." Beast of hell. 3 days. This is impossible. Lord, that's Pluto. We don't even have the energy to tame it. We can't even get close to its body, so how can we tame it? Not to mention 3 days. Even if it were 3 years, 30 years, or even 300 years, we still wouldn't be able to do it. Beast of hell. The first war beast in Rift Soul Pass. It was also one of the strongest beasts in the secret world. Taming Pluto? It was even more difficult than ascending to heaven. Over the years, they had tried many times, but every single time was a failure. The beast of hell of the Underworld King realm were too powerful. Just like the Grim Reaper, the power of the underworld was something that the living could not withstand. Qian Changrui said solemnly, "We cannot do it within 3 days. Please explain this to Holy Saint." Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Golden Armor Elder immediately interrupted him. "I don't care if you can do it or not. This is your problem. I'm just telling you, if you can't do it within 3 days, all of your beast control halls people must scram for me. This place will also become a wasteland." Qian Changrui, "Even if you can't, you have to do it, understand? This is your last chance." Finished. Golden Armor Elder laughed coldly and said, "Beast Control Hall? It's going to become an abandoned land soon, and it's going to be removed from the Tower Question of God. Ha ha." With a smug laugh, the Golden Armor Elder left. All of the elders stood up with faces as pale as a corpse. It was impossible to tame a beast of hell within 3 days. If they could not complete it, they would be pushed out of the Tower Question of God. To them, they might not be able to meet the Tower Question of God again for the rest of their lives. This meant that they, too, were about to become mortals. It was very hard. No one spoke. After a long time, an elder said, "If only Great Clan Elder was still here. He has a good relationship with the saint and would definitely be able to help us." Yeah. At that time, the Thunder Beast he tamed for several years was stolen. If the Hall Master did not side with that brat Long Fei, how could the Great Clan Elder have escaped from Beast Control Hall? I heard that Grand Elder is about to advance to a Senior Elder. If only Grand Elder was here. Everyone began to talk at once. If he had not protected Long Fei back then, Beast Control Hall would definitely not have become like this. Qian Changrui slightly said, "Which clan elder is willing to follow me to Rift Soul Pass?" As soon as his voice fell, the entire hall went silent. Not a single sound could be heard. Who was willing to go to Rift Soul Pass? That was a hellhole, and he didn't even dare to approach it. Going to that place was simply suicide. At this moment, the royal capital stood up and said, "Hall Master, I am willing to follow you." "Me too. Me too." When a few disciples walked out, they were all the disciples that Long Fei had taught 3 years ago, and were also the disciples that the Beast Control Hall had decided on the most in the past few years. Qian Changrui said, "Your cultivation is not enough. Is there any elder who would like to go with me?" he asked again. Still no sound. Qian Changrui looked at the second elder, and the second elder immediately said, "Hall Master, I have not been feeling well lately, and have not been able to go out well." The third elder immediately said, "Hall Master, I'm not feeling well either." "Hall Master, we aren't feeling well either." Almost all the elders said in unison. Qian Changrui smiled bitterly and said, "All right, I'll go by myself. If I don't return within 3 days, you guys can look for those that have backer. If you can't find one, then find one yourself." Finished. Qian Changrui walked out with large strides. All of the elders immediately felt relieved. One of the elders immediately suggested, "Let's go find the elder and beg him to take us in." The wall was pushed by everyone. No one wanted to provide timely assistance. It was Qian Changrui who had treated them as if they were his own brothers, but in the end, no one was willing to help him. This was the human heart. People should not commit suicide. In the face of a great catastrophe, everyone flew away. They felt disdain for the city. Boom! With the breakthrough of a single disciple, the association's experience increased once more. But Long Fei looked at the association's experience and muttered, I'm still lacking 10,000 more experience before I can break through level 10. Those disciples who should have had their breakthroughs had all achieved breakthroughs. The powerhouse S that should be leveled up had already been upgraded, so Long Fei only had 10,000 experience left to level up. He opened the system and checked it. Long Fei looked at the divine spark within the space ring and muttered, Should I let someone devour the one-star godhead? This way, God's martial sect will be able to break through level 10 in an instant. Chapter 1499, Entering the Rift's Soul Pass. Chapter 1499, Entering the Rift's Soul Pass. The guild teleportation was very important. It was a weapon for hegemony. One could say that it was a godly weapon that came from the heavens. It can play a key role. However, a divine spark. He was also Long Fei's only one. He didn't know how to split it among them. Zhang Xian was moved. Long Fei gave up in the end and muttered, Wait a little more. 3 years. Let's go out and take a look first. Counting the 5 years I've been in Chaos Realm, if we add in the 3 years that I've been unconscious for, it should be 8 years. Luo Shi, leopard girl, 1,000. Wait for me for a moment. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, allowing Hua Xian and the others to return to the heavenly court, the base of hell. Following that, Long Fei walked out of the valley. I wonder how Lier is doing now. I wonder where Li Yuanba and the rest are now. For hours later, when Long Fei arrived at the Beast Control Hall, he discovered that it was completely different from 3 years ago. One by one, the disciples hurried on their way. She turned a blind eye to Long Fei. What happened? Long Fei pulled a disciple. The disciple looked at Long Fei and said, Beast Control Hall is finished. Let's go quickly. Is it over? What's going on? Isn't the Beast Control Hall the power of the Tower Question of God? Could someone have infiltrated the Tower Question of God? The first thing that came to Long Fei's mind was the power of the Yan Huang ancestor. However, was it that fast? It was different from the time he had agreed on. The disciple stared at Long Fei and said, The Hall Master has already been in the Rift Soul Pass for 3 days and has not come out yet. Someone said that he is already dead inside. If you still don't go tomorrow, you won't be able to leave after waiting for the Golden Armor Bodyguard to come. The elders have all left, big brother. If you want to go, then let's go quickly. With that, he broke free from Long Fei's arm and quickly left. Don't go. The Hall Master will be back. Don't leave. What are you all doing? These are all from the Beast Control Hall, you guys. Fierce arguments broke out in the yard. Who do you think you are? Get out of my way. If you don't leave, do you want to stop me? So, what if you want to take something? This is what I deserve. Are you going to let me go? If you don't move away, I'll kill you little bastards. The Beast Control Hall was completely different. First, the elders escaped, then the large number of disciples escaped, and then the Beast Control Hall S were all taken away. The current Beast Control Hall was like a great clan that had lost. Empty. Long Fei walked into the courtyard and saw that a senior disciple had started a quarrel with Wang Cheng and the rest. That senior disciple kicked him one last time and immediately overturned the entire imperial city, shouting, Pa, who do you think you are? You want to control me? If you have the ability, you can control those elders? If you don't run away and wait for death, won't you let us run away? The senior disciple carried a huge beast collar and quickly ran out and passed by Long Fei. He glanced at Long Fei briefly and did not put him in his eyes. King's City crawled up from the ground and looked at Long Fei with a glimmer in his eyes, then said, Big brother Long Fei. The person beside him was also startled and said excitedly, Big brother Long Fei. Long Fei saw that the courtyard was in a mess and that every disciple was fighting over something. He asked what happened. A disciple let out a long sigh. Royal City then said, Big brother Long Fei, save Beast Control Hall, save the Hall Master. Long Fei realized that the situation was getting serious and asked, What exactly happened? The Royal City gave a brief summary of what had happened in the past 3 years. Zhan Wushuang actually made it to the 98th floor. Lear has also reached the 90th level. What astonishing speed! The Imperial City said, "The Tower Question of God are about to change their surname and battle." Zhan Wushuang can be said to be able to cover the sky with one hand. Even the Tower Lord has to respect him a little. There are a few Zhan clan members in the Tower Question of God. They were not exposed before, but now that Zhan Wushuang has charged to the 98th floor, there's nothing for them to be afraid of. This time, it's a Battle Family Saint Presbyter. He ordered the Beast Control Hall to tame the Beast of Hell within 3 days. How is that possible? That's the king of the underworld beasts. The Hall Master has already been in the Rift Soul Pass for 3 days. There hasn't been any news of him until now. After 3 days, Beast Control Hall will become a wasteland. Long Fei locked his eyes every day and asked, "How much time until the deadline?" Wang Cheng said one night. Long Fei said, "Bring me to Rift Soul Pass. Leave the rest of the disciples here. I'll definitely rush back tomorrow morning with all my strength." The strength of the Zhan clan in the Tower Question of God quickly expanded. The rate of expansion was faster than he imagined. Perhaps it was also an opportunity for Long Fei. Again, Qian Chongrui had treated him quite well. Last time, when he subdued Qian Zhongrui's lightning beast, he did not punish him either. Rift Soul Pass still had Beast King Question of God. It had been more than 3 years since he had arrived in the Beast Control Hall, and he had not seen it once. Long Fei also missed it a lot. Ha. Now, most of the elders in the Beast Control Hall are under my tutelage. Once the deadline is over tomorrow, the Beast Control Hall will be mine. Qian Zhongrui laughed complacently. Golden Armor Elder said, "Elder Qian, your methods are really brilliant. Even if Master Zhan Wushuang wanted to kill a beast, he shouldn't be the Rift Soul Pass's Beast of Hell. Your big brother definitely won't be able to come out." Qian Zhongrui's gaze turned cold and said, "That's because he was on the wrong side. I tried to persuade him at that time, but he was stubborn, and even though my lightning beast was stolen, he didn't blame me in the slightest. From that time onwards, he was not my big brother. He is not worthy of being in charge of the Beast Control Hall at all." And Qian Zhongru smiled slightly. "When I become the Beast Control Hall Lord, I will be able to tame that monster from the dragon race, Master. I will offer him to Master Zhan Wushuang." Ha. Golden Armor Elder also laughed out loud. 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only would he be able to obtain Beast Control Hall's territory, he would also be able to please Zhan Wushuang. Rift Soul Pass. The Beast King Question of God saw that Long Fei's expression was somewhat agitated and said, "Boss." Long Fei said, "Let's not talk anymore. What's the situation under the Rift Soul Pass's array?" The Beast King Question of God's eyebrows tightened and said, "Hall Master Qian is probably in trouble." Long Fei looked at the Beast King Question of God and said lightly, "Brother, are you willing to fight together with me again?" The Beast King Question of God began to boil up and said, "Boss, I was waiting for you to say that. You didn't know I was waiting here for you. All right, enter the Rift Soul Pass and take a look at the looks of the evil demons and giant demons." Chapter 1500, I guarantee you're ascending. Chapter 1500, I guarantee you're ascending Rift Soul Pass, the only place in Beast Control Hall where the seal was the evil demon beast. The giant demons who had come from all different planes were suppressed here. Amongst them, Beast of Hell is the strongest amongst these giant demons. The power of the Rift Soul Pass's seal was meant to suppress him. If he used the breaking through the seal, the consequences would be unimaginable, vicious, brutal, and filled with the darkness of the underworld. This kind of beast was impossible for the Beast Control Hall to tame, and no one could tame it either, since its realm was not even on the same level. How could they tame it? Buzz. Wong. The Beast King Question of God brought Long Fei and entered the Rift Soul Pass. It was like a chaotic world where one could not see more than 20 meters. However, Long Fei could clearly feel the deep qi from far away, bringing about all sorts of pressure. The beast king question of God guarded beside Long Fei carefully and said, "Boss, this is the Rift's soul pass." Those giant demons and giant demons were all suppressed inside. Long Fei nodded and said, "Quickly search for Pavilion Master Qian's aura and see if he is still alive." Beast King question of God said, "Understood." At the same time, Long Fei moved and summoned a card powerhouse from his hell base and ordered, "Yimei, use your stealth state to scout for me." Understood. The demonic shadow flashed and then disappeared into the chaos. In this place shrouded in evil demonic energy, there was no need to intentionally hide his aura, because he was a demon, and his aura was exactly the same as this place's. Long Fei said, "Let's move forward." The Beast King question of God said, "Let's go." After walking for a few seconds, Yimei suddenly transmitted his voice to them, "Boss, a demon beast is really charging towards you. Do you want me?" Long Fei's brows tightened and immediately said, "There's no need. You go and find Qian Changrui first." The Beast King question of God's eyes shook and shouted, "Boss, you're here." Long Fei's right hand descended, and the Sword of Destroy was summoned. The flames burned, and the fire god's sword Qi appeared crazily. Rumble. In the midst of the indistinct primal chaos, a hellhound charged towards Xiang Long Fei. He opened his bloody mouth. The Beast King question of God blocked in front of Long Fei with a step and threw out a punch. "You're courting death." Paji. Just like swatting a fly, with a Paji sound, it flipped over and fell onto the ground, instantly getting killed. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Hell's Dog for obtaining 39,000 experience points, 3,000 holy source, and 1 energy values. The Hellhound's body spasmed a few times as the Beast King question of God stomped on it. Incomparable power. The Beast King question of God of the semi-realistic realm were indeed valiant. Roar! Not far away, there was a roar. Kacha! Kacha! The lightning raged. A thunder snake swung its tail and swept out like lightning, instantly capturing the Beast King question of God and dragging it. Shwa! The Beast King question of God's reaction was slightly slower by half a second, and its huge body was dragged into the fog. Boom! Boom! In the darkness not far away, there were all sorts of clashing sounds as thunder and lightning broke out. Long Fei did not move, because, in front of him, a pair of dark green eyes were staring straight at him. Furthermore, they completely sealed off his entire body. He felt as if he would be killed at any moment he moved. This was a feeling of crushing his aura. Bang, bang, bang. One step, one step. In front of him, Long Fei was like an ant. The demon elephant was engraved with a variety of dark gold runes, and its eyes were green. A demonic aura faintly shone from its body as it stared fixedly at Long Fei. Crushing, powerful domination. Long Fei's gaze darkened as he looked at the incomparably enormous devil elephant. The corners of his mouth drew back, and he said coldly, "I'll give you a chance to live. Obediently submit to me." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish, the demonic elephant became furious and leaped up from the ground. Without waiting for Long Fei to react, rumble. With a heavy stomp, the entire Rift Soul Pass trembled violently. Long Fei's body felt like it was about to split open. His internal organs overturned the world, and huge waves rolled up within his mind. His head felt dizzy. Long Fei shouted, "Fuck this group of attack damage. It's simply a strong display of power. It's like an earthquake. It also has the stun effect. This demon elephant, I'll take it, could not hold back when facing good stuff. The combat strength of a demonic elephant was just too strong. If it was on a battlefield, it would absolutely sweep away anyone that saw it." The demon elephant seemed to understand Long Fei's words. It let out a furious roar and started trampling on him. Boom! Boom! Rumble! Long Fei's body swayed unsteadily, swaying back and forth like a bean on a drum, completely unable to stop due to the intense tremors. On the other side, the Beast King question of God was tightly entangled by a few giant demons and could not escape. Long Fei's heart became more and more shaken. This is the forbidden grounds where the beast control hall suppressed the gigantic beasts. How many other forbidden grounds are there? The beasts here are so strong that it makes one's hair stand on end. This is too exciting. Ha! Long Fei became even more crazy. After a series of attacks, the demonic elephant paused for a moment. It was also at this time. Long Fei grinned. Is that it? Now it's my turn, right? Shua! Long Fei heavily jumped and directly leaped into the air. He directly stood on the head of the devil elephant. Long Fei sneered and said, "Become my war pet." Upanishads, soul-controlling technique. Long Fei flipped his right hand, and a series of dense runes appeared on his right hand, instantly binding the 100-meter-tall devil elephant like a huge net. Buzz! With a loud noise, Long Fei's idea reached straight into the demonic elephant's sea of consciousness. The demonic elephant's eyes suddenly bulged, and its entire body began to tremble violently. In an instant, it fell into a berserk state, jumping about madly while shaking its body. He kept roaring, "Get out of my sea of consciousness! Get out! Get out!" Long Fei laughed sinisterly. "You are mine." With an angry roar, the power of the god controlling technique poured into the demon elephant's sea of consciousness, and he immediately used his martial arts to crush it, forcefully suppressing it. Unconvinced, beat him until he submitted. The demonic elephant's sea of consciousness gradually lost its control. However, Long Fei did not take advantage of the victory to chase after them. Instead, he left the last bit of his consciousness and said, "It's quiet now, isn't it? Be quiet and listen to me. I just want to ask you, do you want to go out and fight with me? Do you want to be free? Do you want to overturn this tower question of God? If you want to, then just follow me. I guarantee that you'll be able to fly with me." Long Fei said with a smile. He said exactly what he wanted to do. At this moment, the demonic elephant hesitated for a few seconds before kneeling down. With its consciousness gone, it solemnly said, "Boss." Chapter 1501, Heavenly Court, Hell Open. Chapter 1501, Heavenly Court, Hell Open. The giant demon beast in Rift Soul Pass were all monsters that had been imprisoned for thousands or tens of thousands of years. They had been suppressed to the point that they had almost forgotten who they were. Their life's hope was to get out. The demonic elephant submitted. Long Fei's war pet had one more. The demonic elephant let out a thunderous roar, its roar filled with an unbridled aura of immense power. This was catharsis. And then, the demon elephant said, "Can you really bring me out? Even the king of the underworld will not be able to break through the Rift Soul Pass's seal. Can you really bring me out?" Long Fei smiled, but did not answer him. "What do you want to do the most after you leave?" The demonic elephant replied without hesitation, "Kill. Kill those who suppressed me." Long Fei laughed. "Don't worry, I will definitely grant your wish. Now tell me where Qian Changrue is." The demonic elephant was stunned. A human that advanced for 3 days? He seems. I have been captured by the Emperor of the Underworld. I don't even know if he is still alive. Pluto was the beast of hell. Long Fei smirked and said faintly, "Beast of hell. Haha." When the demon elephant saw Long Fei's ice-cold expression, its gaze tensed up and said, "Boss, you can't be trying to do something to Pluto, right? How unpleasant. I'm a man who's going to blow up his ass." Long Fei laughed sinisterly. The demon elephant was shocked and quickly said, "Boss, no. Pluto is too strong, more than 10 times stronger than me. Furthermore, he is the king of Rift Soul Pass, so we can't even get close to him, let alone explode his chrysanthemum." However, the demon elephant looked at Long Fei strangely and said, "Boss, you really like exploding chrysanthemums? Do you have a special hobby?" Long Fei's eyes shook and said, "That's right. I just like the chrysanthemums that explosive people, especially that fierce fellow's chrysanthemum." The devil elephant took half a step back, and with a jolt of its body, the chrysanthemum flower bloomed. Boss, you have to be careful. The chrysanthemum flower of Pluto is not that easy to burst. I advise you not to. Moreover, that Qian Changrui guy must have already died. No one can tame Pluto, and no one has the qualifications and power to do so. Boss, I sincerely advise you to forget about it. His eyes were filled with fear. He was truly afraid. Because he knew Pluto's power, and he was afraid. Truly too powerful. However, Long Fei laughed. The stronger I am, the more explosive I want to explode. Bring me there. The demonic elephant gritted its teeth and said, fine. Since he had chosen Long Fei, no matter what Long Fei wanted to do, he would follow him with his life on the line. The battle of the beast-king question of God in the distance had also ended. A few notifications sounded in Long Fei's mind, but strangely, the beast-king question of God did not come out. Perhaps he had discovered something. The demonic elephant said, Boss, it's done. Bang, bang, bang. His steps shook the skies as he crazily charged into the darkness of the primal chaos. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Endless demons and devils rushed forward, but all of them were swept away by the demonic elephant's huge tusks, as if they were on a battlefield. This speed, it was shockingly fast. Ding, 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 ding. The system beep-s echoed crazily. No, killing machines. 2 hours later, the demon elephant stopped and looked at a dark valley. In the valley, 2 gigantic statues were carved on 2 occasions. Chi Mei was extremely terrifying. Boss, Pluto is in the deep valley, the demonic elephant replied. Do you want to call him out? Long Fei carefully looked around the deep valley, his heart secretly shocked. Is this place going to become the second underworld king realm? This Pluto, this deep valley? What exactly is he trying to do? In the depths of the valley, flames suddenly flashed. Boom! The devil elephant's body abruptly sank. It couldn't withstand the force from the flaming gaze and was sent flying, spitting out a large mouthful of blood. With just a glance, such a powerful demonic elephant was actually unable to withstand it. How strong was this guy? The demonic elephant strenuously replied, Boss, I'm completely no match for him. Long Fei jumped down from the devil elephant. The idea moved and said, It's fine, leave the rest to me. You should rest well in war pet space. Putting the demonic elephant back into the hell's base. Long Fei looked at the clump of fiery eyes within the deep valley and took a step forward, walking towards the deep valley. The depths of the valley were incomparably vast. It was so huge that even Long Fei was unable to compare up to it. Walking on the ground, one was like an ant. In the universe's 10,000 worlds, humans were still the weakest existence. Just like how Long Fei was now compared with the huge deep valley. Buzz! A loud sound came from the depths of the ravine. The flame looked down, and immediately, the Chi Mei sprite on both sides of the valley seemed to have come to life. The depths of its eyes revealed a sinister darkness energy, a gigantic amount of power, and its gigantic body suddenly rushed towards Xiang Long Fei. It was incomparably powerful. Long Fei's gaze tensed up, his fists clenched tightly, and as boom, 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 his body exploded with power. As the 2 attacks struck down, Long Fei instantly flew into the sky, directly dodging the 2 attacks that landed in front of the demon sprite statue. With a move of his fist, the holy source burned frantically. Break for me! Rumble! The fist struck the body of the sprite demon statue. The holy source flew in all directions. Crack! The sculpture continuously cracked, and the crack directly extended all the way to the top of his head. Long Fei's power still unceasingly poured in, and in the end, the entire statue collapsed. The phantom of the sprite disappeared. The source of power was the main body. No matter how strong the main body's power was, it was useless. Long Fei's body shot forward and landed in front of Chi Mei. He glanced at the deep gorge with a cold sneer on his face and said, Can this kind of fellow block me? Rumble! Another punch landed. It was smashed to smithereens. Both sides of the valley rapidly caved in as the entire rift's soul pass trembled. The giant demons imprisoned inside all roared, as if Long Fei's actions had enraged them all. He had provoked the wrath of the masses. Chi Mei was their symbol, their guardian, but right now it was just a pile of broken rocks. Long Fei's gaze swept across the entire area. Feeling the anger of the surrounding giant demons, he walked in front of the demon's head and ruthlessly stepped on it. Crack! The demon's head was trampled into pieces. Long Fei sneered. You've angered the masses, right? I'm trying to make you angry. Unconvinced. If you don't agree, then come out. Unbridled and extremely arrogant. This time, the giant demons in the Rift Soul Pass were even more enraged as roars filled the air. In the depths of the valley, the pair of flaming eyes glared at him. The surroundings suddenly quieted down. Then, a roar came from the deep valley. Roar. In that instant, the surrounding giant demons instantly entered a berserk state, and all of them charged towards Xiang Longfei with no regard for their lives. This scene was like an army of 1,000,000 charging at them. The ground shook and rubble tumbled down. Long Fei stood in place without moving an inch, and with a cold smile on his face, he said lightly, "In these 3 years, let me witness the fruits of your cultivation. Heavenly Court, open. Hell, open." Chapter 1502, The Undying Blood God. Chapter 1502, The Undying Blood God. 2 deep voices resounded. 2 thick stone doors opened. At this moment, the surrounding giant demons rushed down, with fury in their hearts, as they were about to crush Long Fei. At the same time, the red hair and one slash shook the heavens. The tyrannical aura of the Overlord was heavily suppressed. A large area of demon beast was stunned. A wave of devilish mad laughter. Ha 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 ha! Lady Misfortune's move came. The scene. It was ready to explode at any moment. It instantly reached a climax. Long Fei did not walk into the deep valley at all. His gaze was fixated on the ball of flames in the valley, as demon beast kept on charging in front of him. However, they were not swept up and sent flying in front of him. The 2 bases of the Heavenly Court and the Infernal Realm were incomparable in strength. Now, they were all getting stronger. Rumble, rumble. The sound of energy rumbled unceasingly as Long Fei smoothly made his way to the entrance of the valley. Looking at the dark valley, he shouted in a deep voice, "Pluto, come out." Woo! An angry roar came from the valley, followed by the sound of metal scraping against the ground. A series of fires burst out of the darkness. Walala! An ear-piercing sound pierced through the air. A chain struck at Xiang Longfei like a black bolt of lightning. The sleeping beauty suddenly woke up and said, "Master, be careful. Boss, be careful." Rumble, rumble, rumble. It was unknown when the Beast King question of God appeared, but it did not wait for Long Fei to speak as it leapt into the air and blocked the attack. Beast King question of God. Ahaha. You cowardly turtle. You only know how to hide outside of the seal all day long. Since you came to my territory today, go and die. From the darkness came the sound of raging flames. He had assaulted the seal. However, the power of seal, coupled with the strength of the Beast King question of God, had completely suppressed him. If these 2 forces were one less, he would definitely be able to break through. The Beast King question of God said solemnly, "It depends on who dies first today." Boom! The power of the semi-realistic realm burst out. Its claws moved, grabbing the huge chain. However, the power on the chain smashed down fiercely, and the Beast King question of God only managed to grab onto half of it. The other half of the chain smashed heavily onto the Beast King question of God's back. Poochie. His skin split open and blood gushed out. The Beast King question of God's body sunk and landed on the ground. It bared its fangs and let out an ear-piercing roar. It backed up a bit and let out a roar. With a leap, he followed the chain deep into the darkness. Long Fei's expression tensed up and cried out in his heart, "Crap." The Beast King question of God was already furious. Right now, he did not care about all that. He only wanted to do one thing, and that was kill the beast of hell. In less than 2 seconds, boom, 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 from the depths of the valley, a series of crazy explosions could be heard. It was like a battle between gods. Ordinary humans could not withstand it all. If this monster could be tamed, Long Fei was even more certain that someone wanted Beast Control Hall to die. How ruthless! The space between Long Fei's brows tightened, and he quickly rushed into the darkness. Little bastard, you still dare to be arrogant in front of me? Your grandfather still hasn't made a move when I was in Rift Soul Pass. How dare you be so impudent in front of me? Pluto was enraged. It mercilessly struck the Beast King question of God. The Beast King question of God was also not afraid in the slightest as it said, Pluto, who do you think you are? You're just a dead dog that is struggling at death's door. As long as I am here, you will never be able to leave Rift Soul Pass. Boom, boom. They continued to fight like mad. However, Beast King question of God's strength was still weaker than Pluto's. Half a minute later, boom, boom, boom. From the depths of the earth, chains slithered out like snakes. Swish, swish, swish. Swish, swish, swish. The beast of hell roared, lock array. The chain quickly wrapped around the entire valley was tightly bound by the chain. The Beast King question of God's body was tied up. All 4 limbs were tightly bound. Next, Wong. A muffled sound rang out, and from the darkness, an incomparably huge bull head slowly walked out. Its 2 sharp horns flashed with a cold light, and its 2 huge fiery bull eyes glared. Boom! His eyes burned, and then his body sank, his front legs dug into the ground. Staring at the Beast King question of God that was shackled tightly by the chain, he said sinisterly, Beast King question of God, go and die. Boom! With a leap, a gigantic black bull soared into the sky. The void was shattered. The surrounding space could not withstand such a powerful impact. It aimed at the Beast King question of God's body and collided with it. Let alone the semi-realistic realm, even a 1-star god would be knocked half to death if they were to be hit by this. The Beast King question of God roared and struggled with all its might, but to no avail. The chains continued to bind him, not giving him any chance at all. Boss, run. Under such circumstances, the Beast King question of God knew that it would not be able to escape. It could only remind Long Fei to leave this place as soon as possible. Escape? Long Fei. I've never written about the word escape in my dictionary. Long Fei moved in the air and blocked the Beast King question of God in front of it. He stared at the black yak with wild hair and laughed coldly. I never thought that the beast of hell would be a black yak. Pluto, the underworld's #1 war beast. Power that reached the sky. Pluto stared at the tiny Long Fei and said disdainfully, Human? Humph, lowly ant-like existence. Go and die together with me. His strength was even stronger. They were unable to resist. There was no way to defend it all. However, Long Fei was not even the least bit afraid. The idea sank into ground. Let out a shout, God's war beasts. Boom! The God's war beasts rushed out. Looking at the black yak who was running frantically, his gaze tightened. Damn! Underworld Ox King? Boss, this guy's a freak. Long Fei frowned and shouted, Fitted soul. Open. One hand pressed onto the God's war beast's body, instantly absorbing all of its energy. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The energy in Long Fei's body continued to expand and completely absorbed the God's war beast's energy. Long Fei now felt that he was a super God's war beast. He made a grasping motion with his right hand. Holding the huge God's war hammer in his hand, he suddenly moved. At the same time, Long Fei's eyes turned sinister and said solemnly, Undying Blood Clan, power of Blood God, open. Boom, boom, boom. The power in Long Fei's body seemed to instantly explode. The strength of a level 80 blood vein soared to its highest point, staring at the approaching beast of hell. Long Fei roared, his fists clenched tightly as he suddenly soared into the air, roaring loudly, Get down. A strike from the hammer. Crack! Ka! Kacha! Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Layers of space were crushed. Below the god's hammer, it was as though the strength of a giant god had smashed heavily onto the top of the beast of hell's head. Chapter 1503, Beat Until You Accept. Chapter 1503, Beat Until You Accept. Boom. Moo! The bison let out a painful roar. His body sank. It fiercely smashed into the ground, causing the entire valley to shake. It was as if the entire Rift Soul Pass had collapsed because of the impact, and this burst of energy was simply incomparable. The gods wore beasts of the semi-realistic realm. Long Fei's own power of a demigod. Adding on the ability of the level 80 blood vein, it was power of blood god. At the moment of death, after being activated by the holy source of 2 million points, these energies were as if they were able to destroy the heavens and the earth. 3 years' time. Other than teaching the people in the heavenly court and the infernal realm, Long Fei's own strength was also constantly increasing. The current Long Fei was also completely different from the Long Fei from 3 years ago. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. The beast of hell gasped for breath, as if it had been on a train. Carrying the god's war hammer on his shoulder, Long Fei walked to the beast of hell's side and bellowed, "I'm just asking if you're convinced or not." The beast of hell's eyes stared at Long Fei and said, "Puny human, with just you?" Not waiting for him to finish, the god's war hammer in Long Fei's hand moved again, smashing towards the cow's head. Rumble. A deep crater was created. Half of the head of the cow was buried inside. A several-meter-tall bump had formed on the ox's head, and it was in so much pain that it couldn't take care of itself. Long Fei shouted again, "Are you convinced? I refuse to accept this." The beast of hell was still as furious as before. The power in its body burst out crazily, and streams of dark energy were pouring into his body. The Beast King Question of God said loudly, "Boss, be careful. He wants the enlargement stroke." How could the #1 war beast of the underworld be conquered like this? How could he admit defeat so easily? Furthermore, how could his strength be so insignificant? Impossible. His strength was far more than that. He was smashed down by Long Fei's hammer because he did not even put Long Fei in his eyes and did not even care about Long Fei at all. Because he looked down on Long Fei smashed down with his hammer. The current him. He was truly infuriated. The dark arrogance rolled as the power of the underworld surged. Enlargement stroke? You, the great black yak, are returning the enlargement stroke. I'll let you know what's called an enlargement stroke. Long Fei growled. How could he let him off the hook at a time like this? Even the Sleeping Beauty was worried. This meant that the monster was very powerful. It still had a powerful trump card that it had yet to use. Since it had yet to use it, it should not be used. While he was sick, he had to take his life. Long Fei raised his god's war hammer and smashed down heavily. Rumble. The ground cracked. And then, the speed of lightning crazily crushed down like a torrential storm. Critical hits after critical hits, hammers after hammers, they specialized in hitting a point. Moreover, he didn't hold back at all. Enlargement stroke? Let out. If you have the guts, let out for lousy. Big move. Boom, 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 boom. Long Fei attacked quickly like he was forging. The dark arrogance that were gathered on the beast of hell's body could not take much time to gather and scattered. Both the power of the underworld and the power of darkness had been shattered. Come on, show me your move. Long Fei roared and ruthlessly crushed it. For an entire hour, Long Fei had not heard of it, and his body was frantically overdrawing itself. He had no other choice but to use this method to crush the beast of hell. Otherwise, once the beast of hell released the big call, he would have no way to resist and could only activate the energy within the golden cudgel. Come on, overbearing in strength and overwhelming in momentum. Gradually, the beast of hell's willpower was defeated and the dark energy dispersed crazily, never to be gathered again. He had lost faith. The beast of hell wanted to resist, but couldn't now. Don't fight anymore. The beast of hell said while panting heavily. Long Fei bellowed, "Are you convinced?" Although the beast of hell was unwilling, He was simply unable to defend against Long Fei's attack. Long Fei had already started to have a shadow in his heart. How could there be such a human? He was simply a madman, crazy as a lunatic. Furthermore, what the beast of hell could not understand was why did Long Fei specially strike a place like this? The big bump on top of his head was blown up to a height of more than 10 meters and was even larger than his head. It was too hard. Tut, do you accept? The beast of hell said angrily, but was still unwilling to accept it in her heart. She shouted, "So what if I submit to you?" Even the hall master of your beast control hall, Qin Changrui, was unable to do anything to me. So what can you do? Indeed, beasts of hell were not ordinary beasts, even if they beat him until he was convinced it was useless. It was useless to tame him by force alone. As long as you submit. When Long Fei saw that the beast of hell still had 10 billion HP left, his heart trembled a little. From a first strike, Long Fei's heart had been a little afraid, because this guy had 30 billion HP. Just how terrifying was this existence? Even with Long Fei's full strength, he was only able to hit out a little more than half of it. Furthermore, Long Fei's holy source was completely exhausted, so he could not sustain it for long. If the beast of hell was still unconvinced, Long Fei really had no way out. He was simply a blood seller. This was too deadly. At the same time, Long Fei was extremely excited. If this fellow became his war pet, he would be an absolute meat shield. Who could kill him? Terrifying enough to make one go mad. Can't tame you. Long Fei grinned and said, "You really think so? My sea of consciousness is so much stronger than you can imagine. It's simply impossible for me to control my sea of consciousness. Moreover, my idea can only be controlled by the gods of the underworld. You can't even think of taming me. Is that so? Then let's give it a try." Suddenly, Long Fei fiercely leaped up and swallowed 10 holy source pills. Immediately after, the idea moved, and his right hand pressed down heavily on top of the beast of hell's head. Whoa! A powerful beast, taming divine power flowed into the beast of hell's sea of consciousness. Just as he said, this guy's sea of consciousness was unimaginably vast. It had truly reached the scope of the word sea. The beast of hell sneered, "It's useless. No one in a low plane like the Chaos Realm is able to conquer my sea of consciousness. Kid, I admit that you have some strength, but your beast mastery is simply..." Suddenly, the beast of hell's eyes suddenly bulged, and her body couldn't help but tremble. His eyes were filled with terror. Long Fei grinned and asked complacently, "Basically what? Continue on? Why didn't you say anything? Boy, what power is this?" The beast of hell was stunned. Chapter 1504, System Special Reward. Chapter 1504, System Special Reward Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. The beast trainer on top of the Chaos Realm would never have this kind of power. You. The beast of hell looked at Long Fei as if he was a ghost. His sea of consciousness was as wide as the sea. No one could instantly take over his sea of consciousness. However, Long Fei occupied every corner of his sea of consciousness in an instant. There was only an empty space left, but his idea was still struggling on the edge of death. Long Fei smiled and said, "I give you two choices. Either you sign a contract with me, or I force you to become my puppet." Heh. At this moment, the beast of hell wanted to resist, but he thought Long Fei couldn't do anything to him. But now he realized that he was completely wrong. The beast of hell's eyes were blazing with fire. Long Fei grinned coldly. "There's a limit to my patience. As long as I slightly move, I will be able to strangle my idea in my sea of consciousness, and you will become a puppet without any thoughts. You will eat my poop even if I wanted you to." He was really afraid that the beast of hell would resist. It wouldn't be easy then. Forget about Long Fei being able to resist it. Just transforming him into a puppet was not what Long Fei wanted. The beast of hell's eyes darkened, and its teeth chattered loudly. Long Fei shouted, "Make your choice. He did not say anything because he wanted the beast of hell to completely submit to him. He couldn't accept it. However, this is the time for a powerhouse to become king. So even if you refuse to accept it, there is nothing you can do about it. The beast of hell knows this very well. Rage comes down to anger, but he still made a choice. The beast of hell said, "Sign the contract." You're smart." Long Fei grinned. Following that, an array formation contract appeared in the beast of hell's sea of consciousness. The beast of hell moved. Contract survival. Buzz. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the war pet Bloody Bull of Underworld. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward from the system. The reward is Clock of Hell Beast. Just like the God's Hammer S that were rewarded. Clock of Hell. The moment the bell rang, Pluto arrived. And then, Long Fei gently patted the Bloody Bull of Underworld with his right hand and laughed. "Are you regretting it now?" The Bloody Bull of Underworld said solemnly. "I will never regret the choice I made." Although he said it like that, he was still unwilling to accept it in his heart. After all, Long Fei's methods were rather despicable, and of course, he was being too arrogant. The reason he didn't place Long Fei in his eyes. "Ha ha!" Long Fei laughed out loud and said, "I know you are convinced, but in the future, you will be convinced. Come, here's a greeting gift for you." After saying that, Long Fei took out the Clock of Hell and said, "With your defense, coupled with the strength of the Clock of Hell, I believe you would like it a lot, right? Clock of Hell, Underworld holy artifact. It could be said to be a treasure of the Netherworld." Seeing it appear, the Bloody Bull of Underworld was completely stunned. With an excited face, it said, "Clock of Hell, this is the holy artifact that disappeared from the Underworld." "My God! Who exactly are you?" "Underworld, did Lord Dark God send you to save me?" At this moment, the Beast King Question of God walked up and said, "His name is Long Fei, and from today onwards, he is your boss." And then, the God's War Beast returned to real face, carried the God's War Hammer on her shoulder, and said, "Did you hear the words of the Beast King Question of God clearly? He's the boss. You came the latest. From now on, you have to hand it over to our brother, understand?" The Bloody Bull of Underworld raised its eyes slightly and wanted to refute, but upon seeing the Clock of Hell, it immediately said, "Boss, second brother, third brother. Ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha." The laughter shook the sky as the entire Rift Soul Pass began to shake. The three beasts laughed maniacally in unison. The attacks of the God's War Beasts. The bravery of Beast King Question of God. Bloody Bull of Underworld S were strong to the point of abnormal defense and HP. These three fellows, once he used the Fitted Soul to fuse with it, it would simply be a strong explosion. Moreover, Long Fei had been cultivating the Fitted Soul for the past 3 years. There are still a few dozen more proficiency S to level up. When that happens, if it was a second stage Fitted Soul, it would not be as simple as fusing with a War Beast. It could fuse with multiple War Beasts. The body of 3 beasts, an existence that could crush gods in Chaos Realm. Zhan Wushuang? Wait. The Bloody Bull of Underworld suddenly thought of something. The idea moved, and a chain flew out, causing Qian Changrui's entire body to be covered in blood. The blood seller said, "Boss, I had originally wanted to get the method to break the seal from his mouth, but who would have thought that he would actually use the beast mastery on me and get beaten up by me in an instant?" Long Fei looked at Qian Changrui and immediately took out a pellet. Qian Changrui looked at Long Fei and said with a slight smile, "Long Fei, quickly get out, save Beast Control Hall." Beast Control Hall. Only a few disciples remained at the entrance of the hall as everyone else fled. Boom, boom. Hundreds of Golden Armor bodyguard surrounded Beast Control Hall. Golden Armor Elder shouted loudly, "The 3 days deadline is up. Quickly hand over the Beast of Hell. If you can't hand it over, don't blame me for being impolite." "Huh." Many Golden Armor bodyguard heavily shouted. Wang Cheng said, Sir, the time limit is 1 hour. An hour? Haha, what can you do in an hour? Can you bring the dead back to life? Golden Armor Elder laughed in disdain. I think you guys won't be able to hand over the beast of hell, right? Wait. At this moment, Qian Zhongrui flew over, followed by a large group of Beast Control Hall elders and disciples. With a pleased smile on his face, he said, Golden Armor Elder, since there's still an hour left, then we should give them another hour. I heard that. Long Fei, that dog, also entered the Rift Soul Pass. Golden Armor Elder's gaze darkened. He gritted his teeth. Long Fei. He was the Golden Armor Elder that was sent flying by the gods' war beasts when Long Fei entered the fairyland of Tower Question of God. He hated this strike to the core. And then, Golden Armor Elder laughed coldly and said, All right, then let's wait for another hour. He wanted to see Long Fei become a joke. Qian Zhongrui was the same. Time passed by second. Soon, an hour had passed. Golden Armor Elder laughed coldly. You guys also believe in trash like Long Fei, huh? Time's up, I declare. Beast Control Hall will be removed from the list. Not waiting for him to finish, a voice came from afar. Wait. And then, with a roar, the sky seemed to split open. The surroundings were densely packed with darkness, and in the darkness, a gigantic blood cellar unscrupulously rushed out. Chapter 1505. You don't dare to touch me? Chapter 1505. You don't dare to touch me? The beast of hell is here. Yes, when the bloody bull of underworld rushed out, Long Fei shouted. Next, the sky and earth shook, the space twisted, the dense black dark arrogance was rolling, the entire Tower Question of God was shaking, as though it could not bear the impact of the dark energy. Golden Armor Elder was scared silly. Underworld King, Beast of Hell. Qian Zhongrui also had a silly look on his face as he said, Impossible, absolutely impossible. No one can control the Beast of Hell, and no one can tame him. My big brother won't be able to succeed. The super war beast of this forbidden grounds could also be said to be one of the strongest war beasts in the entire Chaos Realm. If he could control and tame it, someone would have tamed him long ago. However, since the birth of the Tower Question of God, no one in the Beast Control Hall had succeeded. Moreover, most people died in Rift Soul Pass. It was also because of this that he had allowed the Beast King Question of God to guard it. Now that the Beast of Hell appeared right in front of them, they couldn't imagine what had happened. However, something was still happening that they could not imagine. Rumble. The dark arrogance swept and flicked. Buzz. It was like a powerful shockwave had been shot out. Shwa. It was visible with the naked eye that the bodies of the Golden Armor Bodyguardess were split in half, leaving only one Golden Armor Elder spewing blood, instantly killing more than 100 Golden Armor Bodyguardess. Furthermore, it was only an attack from a powerful aura. How powerful was this? Ding, ding, ding. A series of notifications exploded. A smile blossomed on Long Fei's face. Fierce, too fierce, huh? This is great. What I want is this kind of rhythm. At this moment, Qian Zhonggrui's scalp was going numb. It was as if his head could not bear the impact, and he said solemnly, Long Fei, you dare to kill Golden Armor Bodyguard? I think you're tired of living. Long Fei grinned and laughed. Are you fucking blind? Did you see me do it? It was clearly the Beast of Hell who took action. How can you cling on to my head? Right. Didn't you want the Beast of Hell? Didn't you want to get the Beast Control Hall removed from the Tower Question of God? Come on, accept the Beast of Hell now. Long Fei stared at Qian Zhongrui and laughed coldly. After 3 years of hibernation, Long Fei was completely different from 3 years ago. He was very clear that Zhan Wushuang would never choose a war beast from the underworld, nor would the Tower Question of Goddess allow it. It was obvious that someone was trying to make things difficult for Qian Zhongrui, and this person was definitely Qian Zhongrui. Indeed, Qian Rui wanted to control the Beast Control Hall and then give the Dragon Clan Master Beast to Zhan Wushuang. But now, the situation was already out of his control. The faces of the elders beside him all paled. Great Elder, what do we do now? The beast of hell can't block it at all. Just one Shi was able to instantly kill all those golden armor bodyguard. I'm afraid we... Qian Zhongrui's eyes stared wide and shouted, "What are you afraid of? A beast of hell, and Long Fei might even tame him. Is there a need to be afraid? All of you listen up. If you can't take down the beast control hall today, don't even think about getting away with it." He heavily humphed. At this time, Qian Zhongrui walked out with a slightly pale face and said, "Zhongrui, turn around and face the shore." Puffed. Qian Zhongrui spat out a mouthful of phlegm and laughed coldly. Qian Zhongrui, back then when the lightning beast was tamed by Long Fei, you clearly knew that it was my beast, but what about you? Not even letting out a fart and also letting him participate in the Beast Master School selection. Do you really have a younger brother like me in your eyes? You're crying like a cat. Qian Zhongrui, from that day onwards, I did not have a brother like you. At that time, I swore that I would definitely control the Beast Control Hall and that I would make you pay for it. I was the one who told the Golden Armor Elder to do it. So you entered the Rift Soul Pass to die. I never thought that not only were you not dead, you even brought the Beast of Hell out? Very good, Qian Zhongrui. I have really underestimated you, but Beast of Hell are underworld beasts. They're not allowed by Tower Question of God. You let them out on your own and even killed Golden Armor Bodyguard. Qian Zhongrui sneered sinisterly and said, "Golden Armor Elder, what should be your punishment?" Golden Armor Elder laughed coldly and said, "You deserve to die for your crimes." Qian Zhongrui laughed complacently. "Did you hear that? You want to fight me? I have 10,000 ways to kill you, huh? It's all because of you. Because you're on the wrong team, you picked the wrong guy. You understand?" His gaze turned cold. Qian Zhongrui glared fiercely at Long Fei and said, "Brat, this is all because of you. You dog. Trash like you aren't worthy enough to enter the Tower Question of God. Just trash like you." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei's idea moved Shua. It instantly appeared in front of Qian Zhongrui. Both of his eyes stared at Qian Zhongrui coldly. "I am trash. Then what are you?" It was also at this moment. The Thunder Beast rushed out and floated above Qian Zhongrui's head, the crackling lightning on its body crazily wreaking havoc. Qian Zhongrui's body started to tremble. Looking at the lightning beast in the sky, the hatred in his heart grew even stronger, and he said gloomily, "Long Fei, if you dare touch me, Saint Presbyter will definitely not let you off. In this life, don't even think of entering the Tower Question of God, and don't even think of clearing 100 layers of God's tower." Ha ha ha! You want to save Xianyuan Lier, right? She has already broken through the 90 levels of God's tower, and will soon be able to enter the ancient holy battlefield with Master Wuxuan. Ha ha! Who do you think you are? You want to kill me? Come on, kill me. In your entire life, don't even think about stepping half a step into the Tower Question of Goddess. Come and kill me, huh? Laughing wildly, the rage in his heart flared. He knew Long Fei's fatal weakness, so he concluded that Long Fei did not dare to touch him. However, he didn't understand Long Fei at all. Long Fei's lips curved into a death god-like cold smile and said, "Are the Tower Question of God that awesome? Are you that awesome?" "Awesome. I like to kill people who think they're amazing." Thunder Beast. With a roar, Long Fei's idea moved. The lightning beast in the sky suddenly moved. A lightning spear appeared in its hand. Qian Zhongrui's body trembled slightly as he said, "Long Fei, you dog, try touching me." Not waiting for him to finish. Crack! The sky exploded. The Thunder Beast's lightning spear pierced down. However, without waiting for the lightning to strike him, Long Fei turned his right hand, and the sword of Destroy began to burn. Cut! With a horizontal slash, blood spurted out. When Qian Zhongrui's head came off, he stomped down fiercely with his right foot and immediately exploded with his foot. "I hate it when others are in danger. I don't dare to touch you." Chapter 1506. Go ahead and do it. Chapter 1506. Go ahead and do it, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Qian Zhongrui for obtaining 19,000 experience, 1,000 holy source, and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the ancient holy artifact, Beast Controlling Rope. Ding! Energy level complete. Current energy level, 81. One ancient holy artifact was equal to 10 levels of energy. The energy of the golden cudgel had now risen to the 81st level. If the 100 levels were all paragons, then he would only be missing 19 levels. Golden Armor Elder's face darkened. He did not even dare to breathe. His body turned into a ball of light and instantly escaped. The Imperial City immediately shouted out, "Brother Long Fei, he escaped." The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up as he looked at the fleeing Golden Armor Elder. He gave a cold laugh and said, "It's fine. Let him go." It was also at this time. Bang, bang, bang. Those elders of the Beast Control Hall all kneeled on the ground and started begging. "Mercy, my lord. We were forced to do so. Lord, please forgive us this once." They were extremely afraid that Qian Zhongrui had already been killed. Long Fei did not look at Qian Zhongrui's eyes. This kind of person would betray you the first time and sell you the second because their world was free for them and their interests. This kind of person was the kind of person Long Fei hated the most. "Spare you. Let Yama forgive you." Long Fei's eyes darkened. Boom! Boom! The lightning beast was enraged. The lightning spear from before did not hit anyone for Long Fei, but this time he released the lightning field immediately. Crackle, crackle. Rumble, rumble. A few elders and disciples were struck into smithereens by the lightning, while Long Fei and his men flew madly. Just that. These people's experience was simply too low. He only had 3 digits of experience. This was also because Long Fei's level was too high for them. Now, what Long Fei wanted was not experience, but energy values. It had been a long time since there had been a huge explosion. This time, Long Fei was about to explode. After a few seconds, the lightning disappeared, and Long Fei, the 6 disciples, and the Hall Master were the only ones left in the Beast Control Hall. There were only 8 people left in the huge Beast Control Hall. It could be said to be incomparably withered. Long Fei walked to Qian Zhongrui's side. When he was about to speak, Qian Zhongrui first said, "We didn't do wrong. They could sell the Beast Control Hall out once, then they could sell it twice. These people aren't even worthy to join the Beast Control Hall." Long Fei looked at Qian Zhongrui. Qian Zhongrui patted Long Fei's shoulder and said, "From now on, you are the Hall Master of the Beast Control Hall." Long Fei was startled. The 6 disciples from the royal city were also stunned. Long Fei said, "Hall Master, I do not wish to be a Hall Master. Moreover, I am unable to manage the Beast Control Hall. Not to mention the Hall Master of the Beast Control Hall, even the Tower Master of the Tower Question of Goddess." Long Fei was not interested in it. Qian Zhongrui laughed blandly. "I know. From the first moment I saw you, I knew that the Tower Question of God would not be able to keep you alive, and that the Chaos Realm would not be able to keep you either. But the situation is different now. I am heavily injured, the Golden Armor Elder has escaped, and the Elders of the Beast Control Hall have been killed. The Tower Question of God will definitely not let you get away. I hope that you can wait for them to leave the Tower Question of God." "This place," Qian Zhongrui smiled bitterly and said, "This place has changed. It is no longer the Tower Question of God of the past. 9 Secret Warrior family has already covered the sky with one hand. Not only here, the Hell Gate of the mortal world has already taken control of the Bounty Gate and the Myriad Alliance. It can be said that the Zhan clan is now the ruler of the Chaos Realm. Long Fei, I know you are very strong. Your potential is limitless, but Zhan family has a divine level powerhouse. Zhan Wushuang can immediately break through the Tower Question of God. After he enters the ancient holy battlefield, Zhan family will have another divine level powerhouse, and no one in the Chaos Realm will be able to shake them. Get out of here. The farther the better." Over the course of 3 years, too many things had happened. The 9 Secret Warrior family could already be considered as one of the Chaos Realm. In these 3 years, the power of the 9 Secret Warrior family were like a virus, slowly eroding the tower question of God. Law Enforcement Hall, Refining Branch, Alchemy Hall, even the Saint Presbyter, who was in charge of the God's Tower, was bought. They were all under the command of the Jean clan. Long Fei was slightly taken aback. I never thought that so many things would actually happen in these 3 years. I wonder how 8 King Kong is doing right now. A divine, right? 9 secret warrior family unites Chaos Realm. That's even better. I don't have to go look for them one by one. Long Fei was not afraid. Long Fei looked at the gigantic golden pagoda towering above the clouds in the distance, and said with the corners of his mouth slightly raised, "Then I'll start from the tower question of God, break it in one go." And then, Long Fei said, "Hall Master, can you help me investigate a few things?" Qian Chongrui said, "Go ahead." Long Fei said, "Help me check on Yi Jingyan. Where are the 2 of them right now? Have they entered the tower question of God yet?" Also, Long Fei thought of the fairy sister. She knew about her father Long Zhanting's situation and said, "Help me investigate where Elder Wang Shishir is." Qian Changrai nodded his head and said, "All right, I will do it right away." Long Fei said, "I'll be troubling Home Master. If you have any difficulties, leave immediately. Don't make things difficult for yourself." Qian Changrui smiled faintly. "Although I haven't been doing much in the past few years, I still have some good friends. It shouldn't be difficult for me to look up a few things for you." However, Long Fei, what do you want to do next? You really won't leave this place? Qian Changrui was a little worried. Long Fei said, "Leaving? How could I bear to leave? The tower question of God here had an endless number of bosses, and they also had. If he did not knock Zhan Wushuang over, would he leave? The first time, he wasn't a match for her. The second time was not his opponent. The third level, Long Fei absolutely could not allow himself to lose again. In addition, Long Fei hesitated. Qian Changrui asked, "If you have something to say, then say it. Since you are not leaving, then I will go all out. At worst, I will just die, and my life in Rift Soul Pass will definitely die." Long Fei asked, "Can you tell me the location of the array formation in the Beast Control Hall?" Qian Chongrui's eyes trembled. Long Fei said, "I want to tame all of them." Although he did not say it, in his heart, he wanted the Dragon Clan master the most. Long Fei was sure. This dragon ancestor definitely came from the divinity. Qian Chongrui laughed excitedly and said, "Ha ha, good. Those abnormal people have not been tamed in our Beast Control Hall for thousands of years, and no one has dared to go in for hundreds of years. Now, it is time for them to experience the power of the Beast Control Hall. Long Fei, go ahead. Let this world tremble because of you." Chapter 1507, Monsters. Chapter 1507, Monsters. Since he wanted to play, he might as well play a little bit more. From the examination to the entry of the Tower Question of God, they had targeted him at every turn and treated him unfairly. If he did not overturn such a place, then he would not be Long Fei. Moreover, when he saw the saint among the God's Tower, each and every one of them glimmering with golden light, he became even more excited. 1 level, 1 boss. 100 levels, 100 bosses. This was no God's Tower. This was simply a boss concentration camp. How could he not explode? If he did not explode, then why would he have striking system S? Better to go home and plant sweet potatoes. If Golden Armor Elder escaped, it wouldn't be long before he would bring a large group of powerhouse with him. Long Fei was not afraid. However, it would be even more interesting if he could release all of the monsters in the Forbidden Area before then. This is the Forbidden Area that Swamp Troll is locked in. The King City held a secret history book. This book was a top-secret book of the Beast Control Hall, and it recorded information on all the monsters in the Forbidden Grounds. Swamp Troll can release swamps with a radius of thousands of kilometers, and these swamps can swallow and release poisonous gas. I heard that he has killed hundreds of millions of people in his life. It is simply a nightmare for humans. The expression on the face of the city leader changed slightly as he asked, "Hundreds of millions of warriors. Isn't this way too terrifying?" Long Fei laughed. I like it the more terrifying it is. You guys wait outside. I'll go in alone. It was extremely dangerous inside, and would only be helpless if they were to enter. The Imperial City was clear of this as well. Big Brother Long Fei, be careful. Buzz. The door to the Forbidden Grounds opened, and Long Fei stepped into. The poisonous gas swirled around and emitted green bubbles. Looking around, there was no end in sight. They were all poisonous bogs, and this kind of swamp was not saying that you would be okay if you flew in the air. It would produce a strong suction force that would crazily absorb you, just like changing the gravity. If you wanted to fly, you would need to spend multiple times the support of the holy source. Ordinary warriors wouldn't be able to support you flying to the end of the swamp. Once you enter, you can forget about leaving here alive. This was his terror. Long Fei was slightly overjoyed. Not bad, not bad. This kind of guy would be like a nightmare on the battlefield. And then, Long Fei's gaze darkened as he roared loudly and said, I will only say it once. If you become my war pet, I will give you a wonderful world. Ha ha! From the depths of the swamp came a creepy laughter, sinister as if it had come from hell. It's been 1,300 years. Did your tower question of God's beast control hall send a kid like you down? The amount of meat on your body is not even enough to fill the gaps in my teeth. The swamp troll said in disdain. Do you know how the person who said those words in front of me died? Those who go crazy or die. Because he can't get out at all, huh? Long Fei chuckled. He did not say much. The idea moved, releasing the bloody bull of Underworld, and said, Blood Seller, go teach him how to conduct himself. The bloody bull of Underworld laughed and said, Understood. Then, an incomparably huge blood seller descended from the sky and abruptly dropped down. The swamp was like a piece of grass collapsing. The swamp troll's face sank. The Underworld god's war beast, bloody bull of Underworld, you. How could you be tamed? Not waiting for him to finish. The bloody bull of Underworld cupped its fists and flew deep into the sky, then roared out, The beast that made you the boss thought highly of you. Don't be stupid. Boom! The two fists heavily smashed down. The swamp troll could not withstand the bloody bull of Underworld's power at all, so the entire swamp began to tremble and began to bubble with blood. Just like that, the amount of blood on the swamp troll's head had decreased by a third. He wasn't good at defense. Moreover, swamp troll were most afraid of huge monsters like Bloody Bull of Underworld. Their bodies were huge, and their strength was explosive. The most important thing was that their defense seemed to be invincible. Without waiting for the Bloody Bull of Underworld to finish her second move, she immediately said, I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. The Bloody Bull of Underworld shouted and said, Wouldn't it have been better this way earlier? From now on, you have to call me Fourth Brother. The swamp troll was startled and said, Blood Seller, you have two monsters in front of you? The Bloody Bull of Underworld shouted, That's our second and third brother. What kind of monster is that? Be careful when you speak. Don't bring trouble upon yourself. The swamp troll immediately did not dare to say a single word. Long Fei released his spirit-controlling technique and easily tamed the swamp troll, turning it into his new war pet. After entering the war pet space, the swamp troll looked at God's war beasts and was slightly stunned. They really are monsters. Call him second brother. Call him third brother. Swamp troll didn't dare to move. He could only do as he was told. Buzz. Long Fei walked out of the Forbidden Grounds and said faintly, Next. The few people in the capital had yet to react. They were still worried for Long Fei, but it had only been half an hour and he had already subdued the swamp troll. This was a giant demon that had swallowed over 100 million martial artists. Just like that, the Imperial City was in disbelief and asked, Big Brother Long Fei, the swamp troll inside. Long Fei smiled lightly. You'll be able to see it in the future. What's the next one? Opening the secret history of the kingdom. Half an hour later, another super beast was beaten to a state where it could not take care of itself under the pressure of the god's hammer. Finally, It was tamed by Long Fei and brought out of the Forbidden Grounds. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a new war pet. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a new war pet. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a new war pet. The system beep would ring every once in a while. These new war pet were all terrifyingly strong. Moreover, they were all slaughter machines with blood on their hands. Hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of lives were taken, and because of this they were imprisoned in the secret world. The people who imprisoned them before also wanted to tame them and send them to ancient holy battlefield. However, no one could do it. These fellows came from all sorts of places and could be said to be extremely vicious. The forbidden grounds of the Beast Control Hall were like a prison. A monster that had been imprisoned for 100 years, 1,000 years, and even tens of thousands or even millions of years. Once these villains were released, it would be a heaven-defying existence. The imperial city pointed to an ancient stone tablet. On it were carvings of simple runes. He looked at the history and said, "Big Brother Long Fei, this is the last Forbidden Grounds." The records of the secret history are very vague. It's just that the war beasts locked up inside are too terrifying, they can't be released, and even more so, they can't be tamed. If they fail, the entire Chaos Realm might turn into ashes. It says, it looks like a dragon inside. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.